Spit on it. We're fine.
If you still talking about conversions, right?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to episode 9 of Talking Shire, a podcast about the Middle-earth strategy battle game from the community here in the northeast of England. My name is Jamie, and once again I am joined by Nick.
Hello.
And Jonathan.
Hello.
As we talk all sorts of rubbish about the game we love. So before we start then, let's have an update as where what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, months, whatever we've done. So I've got written down, because I knew I'd forget, at the Great North Ruin, because that was just after we recorded the last one. How did we get on the Great North Ruin?
I did great. I wasn't there.
Yeah, I wasn't there either.
Oh, just me then.
Anyway,
I didn't do very well. Moving on. Yeah, no, I didn't do very well. I took me Riders of Irma, which was actually a fun list to use, but I really should have practiced a bit more. Not knowing what to do with them was definitely an issue. Learned a lot. Mm-hmm. Will use them again in the future, but I will have to practice. Gandalf the White, really cool. Yeah. Not in the first game. You realised on the first game, I don't think he killed anything when I played Jack again. I think he killed one orc. He maybe transfixed 2 or 3 times, but then he just got charged every turn. Wow. And that was it. Gandalf did nothing first game. He was an absolute beast in the second game. He channeled a banish against the Witch King.
Nice.
And there was a magic off, and then you just piled in and charged him, and then Irma, who had combated and got in as well, and it was just a dog pile into the Witch King, which was fun. And then the third game was against Adam Bird himself, and he schooled us on how not to play Riders of Irma. That was a massacre.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so have a listen to Adam Bird's podcast as to how that went. Yeah, it was pretty rough. But yes, lots of lessons learned. We did have Peter Bull as well recently. When Gary got his very first win. Well done, Gary.
Well done.
He took was it Angmar? He took Shadows of Angmar?
I think so. He definitely had Barrowweight in there.
Barrowweight and some werewolves and things. Yeah. Very good. Very strong at 200 points. But how did anyone else go on that one?
I wasn't at Peter Bull either.
Oh my god, you've been for the month.
I know.
Oh yeah, that was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had something else on. So I was gonna go. Well, I was going to be at the venue. I wasn't actually going to do Peter Bull. I had a game arranged with Ian, and then I had to cancel him because I forgot I was double booked.
Oh dear. Fair enough.
Yeah, but you also weren't at Peter Bull.
I wasn't at Peter Bull. No, I was working. But yes, the 3 people who organised Peter Bull couldn't make it. So so Thomas kindly stepped in and ran it forward. Sounds like it went really well. Lots of people who had 2 brand new players, I believe. Who enjoyed themselves, and some of the newer players as well. 2 of them came down again to play, so it's doing its job. It's getting the new guys into the game and letting other people play stuff they haven't painted yet and just want to give a go. So Peter Bull, very good. And has anyone been practicing for the upcoming teams tournament? Obviously, Jonathan, you won't practice.
Well, I've done a few games with the list that I ended up picking.
Yeah,
they weren't specifically teams practiced. It was sort of, one was let's just see if this goofy list will work. And then I won really hard, and I was like, And then I tried another game with it, and then immediately after that another game with it, and then list submissions started to creep up, and I hadn't prepared anything. I was like, let's just use that one. I've won 3 in a row. It's got a 100% win rate, which means that will continue forever. That's because that's how statistics work.
Solid logic.
So yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
excellent. Yeah, I'm taking my Birders Horde. I've had 2 games with it to practice. Both went quite well, but I used it last year at the start of the edition, so I kind of was half familiar with it anyway. And then I got really cocky in my group chat, and I was like, Birdie hasn't used this. He says it's not very strong, and I was like, I'll show him how to use it. And then he went to an event last weekend and won all 4 games with it. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll shut up now. He must have heard us talking in the chat. Never mind. So there you go. That's kind of where we're up to, isn't it?
Yeah. I also went to Leeds by example.
Oh yes, Leeds by example.
At the start of this month, with the goal of proving that Breaking of the Fellowship does not need Legolas to be competitive.
Yes. How did that go?
I return a broken man. Legolas is required for Breaking of the Fellowship. Without him, you can essentially threaten one objective on the board, and then your opponent just sits on the rest of them
And waits for
waits for you to like. It waits for the break in the Fellowship army to end the game on either breaking or a quarter, and then just goes, "Oh yeah, I still win. I've got all of the objectives, and you can't threaten me at all."
Yeah.
So
it was a long weekend for you. That wasn't it?
it was. I enjoyed all of my games.
Yeah.
And it felt like a different kind of puzzle without Legolas.
Yeah.
But it was not a solvable puzzle.
It was a Rubik's Cube with a side missing.
Yes, yeah, it was rough. There was a couple of times where, like, I played Arno at one point, and Argadir was just sat on an objective, and I'm sort of like 8 inches away from where my group was, and I thought, God, that horse! I would have that horse! Legolas, where are you? And it just, yeah, it was. I wouldn't recommend a Legolas-less
Fellowship
run.
list. Yeah.
It's kind of an indictment of how some of the lists have been designed at the moment, that you can like, of all the models to be absolutely pivotal to breaking, Legolas being the one is a bit off. Like, if you turned around and said, "Oh, like, it's just completely impossible without Boromir," or "It's completely impossible without Frodo," I'd be like, "Yeah, I can get behind that." But like Legolas,
yeah. I think the problem is that as soon as Legolas is gone, you essentially have a whole phase of the game that you just don't have access to. Whereas, like, Boromir, Aragorn, or Gimli, it's your preference on who you want your, like, hitter to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm never going to take breaking without Boromir.
Okay. It's not even up for discussion that way.
No, he's always going to be there. But yeah, Legolas is rough to miss.
Nice,
but
lessons learned. Apparently,
I'm fine about it now. It was a fun weekend, and I got to play a lot of people who had never played before. But yeah,
it sounds like it was good fun, to be fair. Following the rankings and following the group chats and things, it looked like a good event.
Yeah,
very good. Excellent, right. So just a reminder, if you do want to see how you've done, if you live in the Northeast and you've took part in any events, or if you want to if you're curious about what we've been doing here in the Northeast, nehl.co.uk, there's a kind of Northeast Hobbit League that we kind of do separately. It's kind of just for fun more than anything else, and to bring out some rivalry. But it's throwing up some nice stats and things, so have a look on there, see how you're doing, and see what we're up to. It's also got events on there as well, upcoming events. So just before we go further as well, I do want to do a local creator shout out. So just a reminder, the Forge Gaming on Etsy. So Ian Minto has started making dice trays, custom dice trays. Take a look at that. They're really cool. I think I've got mine. Has anyone else ordered one? Oh, you've got yours as well?
I got mine. Yeah, you did for me.
Yeah.
I haven't got mine yet. I'm dragging my feet. I will.
It's fine. No hurry. I'm sure you'll get one eventually, because they are really cool. So check it out on Etsy. They are really good. But also, I want to give a shout out to our Nick as well, because he is also a game creator. And I know it's off topic of Talking Shire, but it is a very good game that you've come up with. Could you tell a little bit about Brass Oasis?
So totally different vibe.
It's a skirmish game. It's a board game, skirmish game. You use models.
It's a skirmish game. It's steampunk horror, designed to be easy to pick up, designed to be easy to make a list for, mini agnostic, classic indie experience. Weirdly, the thing that has turned out to be the most distinguishing feature of it, which wasn't something I consciously did. This was just how the design happened, because I was like, oh, this makes sense. This is easier.
Yeah.
Is the version of alternating activation that I've done, where rather than one model goes, does everything, your opponent picks one model, goes, does everything. Mine is you do two things, spread however you want.
Yeah.
That can be two things with one model or two things with two different models. And then when every model has done two things, they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out from speaking to people at the Games Expo and doing a bit of research since, after a few people commented on it, that's actually not common.
There you go.
At no point thought that might have been like my unique selling point, but somehow
it is.
It's turned out to be. Yeah.
It's a really like. There's a few of us now who've played it and are really quite invested in it, and it's just very enjoyable. It is quick. It's quick to learn, as you said. but it's just full of fun little things that go on during each scenario and interactions and things that can happen, which is why I love Middle-earth, because you have those sort of funky little interactions. So for me, it ticks all the boxes. So I think
high capacity for shenanigans.
You're not there to it's not a competitive. It's very much a narrative driven game. It's very fun. So check it out, Brass Oasis. You have got it on Patreon, so you can check it out.
So there's free version of the rules, which includes most of it, everything that you need to actually play.
Yeah.
And then on there is a shop where you can buy a PDF of the full version of the rules. And there are still some physical rulebooks kicking around. I just haven't sorted out an actual web store for that, because I thought I could sell them on Patreon, but I can't. You can only sell digital stuff on Patreon.
Oh, okay.
So I need to set up an actual shop before I can sell those online.
Yep.
But if anyone knows me in person, there's still the possibility.
Send you a message. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, well, there you go. So, because I know you'd just launched it really at the Birmingham Expo.
Yeah.
So it was. I wanted to shout it out because it is very fun. And we're on the miniature game, and if you listen to this, you play miniature games or you're interested in miniature games. So just check it out. Brass Oasis on Patreon, and give it a go. It's very fun.
The only game I've ever played where everyone's been trying to escape essentially a gas leak across the map, which was that opens new strategies.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
You really start thinking about terrain in very different ways.
Yeah, I played the mission where the stuff can just collapse on you. You're standing on a staircase and it could just collapse underneath you. And that's very good. So yes, check it out. Very, very good. So we'll go into our. Should we do questions first? So this episode we are going into a question that was sent by Mike in the last episode. So we're going to be talking about the parts of the hobby and in what order of importance we put them in. So we'll be going into that in a second. We'll go into our questions first because we have had quite a few in. We have one in relation to the last episode, which I'm excited to read out. It is from Aaron Munden from Two Trees Gaming. So thank you for listening to our podcast.
Yeah. A crossover event.
Oh my god. So hi guys, Aaron from Two Trees Gaming here. We played you guys at the Warhammer World Teams and tied more sporting because we all voted for each other. Been enjoying the podcasts. I have just listened to the section on Gandalf Sorceress Blast. That was gotten wrong by Jamie. Game versus Paul. I have attached a screen grab of the rules for Sorcerer's Blast. It does knock the troll over. If it's been targeted directly, as the rules say. Says nothing about strength 5 and below except when in combat. If the troll was in combat with, for instance, a rider and an orc, and the orc was hit, the rider and the orc would be knocked prone, but the troll not, as is higher than strength 5. If the troll was targeted directly, it would be knocked over though. In relation to the question of how to deal with it at a tournament, I think it shows that you have to just leave the result as it was. How would you now deal with it, having got it right and then wrong, and in theory taking a game off someone? So I've got the rulebook here. He sent a picture.
Yeah.
This magical power targets one enemy model in range. The target immediately suffers one strength 5 hit. If they survive, the target is immediately knocked prone. If the target was a cavalry model, they will automatically count as suffering the knock flying result on the Throne Rider chart. If the target was engaged in combat, then any other model that is also engaged in the same combat will also be knocked prone if it has a strength of 5 or lower. Make sure to pay off combats before working out which models are knocked prone in this manner. So I didn't get it wrong.
You didn't get it wrong.
Justification.
We all got it wrong.
We all got it wrong.
Public apology to Jamie.
Yeah, Paul, have that.
That's the trouble when you have the two paragraphs like that, because you'll see the one on the bottom that says strength 5 or lower.
I know, that's
and you'll read that and be like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Tell you what though, that opens the door of magic against Ents.
No, Ents can't be.
Can they not be not prone?
Anything that stops them from activating?
Knocking prone doesn't stop you from activating.
No, but it affects the movement, doesn't it?
No, because you can still move when you're not prone.
You just get up.
You just fall over.
Oh.
You can't hit him. You can't hit him with a transfix or a compel or a Wrath of Brunin or a Nature's Wrath, because they're all specifically. Specifically said no, but
if that one,
I was always under the impression that the reason you couldn't Sorcerer's Blast them was because they were too strong. But now,
what I've learned from this us getting it wrong and then getting it wrong again is that before I say anything about the Fangorn army list, I'm going to check it.
Yes, that's how I'm going to have a look.
So I prefer wild speculation, but sure, let's check it.
Well done, Aaron. You passed the test.
Yeah. It's just
Everyone else, don't believe everything you hear online.
So I've got it up here. Friendly Ent models are completely unaffected by any magic powers that would attempt to move them or prevent them from activating or moving. Sorcerous Blast doesn't move you or prevent you from moving.
Yeah.
It just knocks you on your ass. You don't actually go anywhere.
So you can Sorcerous Blast.
Sorcerous Blast, last edition,
yes,
it wouldn't work because that moves them back. But this, although actually, it doesn't matter because it doesn't do it anymore.
Interesting.
And then it specifically calls out Call Winds, Nature's Wrath, Wrath of Brunin, and Writhing Vines as they're completely immune to them.
Yeah.
So
with
that does actually open the door of knocking Ents over. So that has
So
there you go. We've just
a lot of Ent players would just ruin their life.
Yeah.
There you go.
To be fair, everyone else has probably read the rules. This is probably a revelation to only us and Paul.
Yes, and Paul. Yes, poor Paul.
Yeah.
So I didn't rob you, Paul.
Yeah.
There we go. He finishes off by saying, "Enjoying the podcast and the quiz especially. Cheers, Aaron."
Thank you, Aaron.
So thank you, Aaron,
for calling us out.
Yes,
it's important to do that.
Yeah. No. It's that. I mean, that's why I like these emails because they get in touch. But yes, check out Two Trees Gaming. I really enjoy the arena.
The arena is
so fun. So please check that out. It's very good.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the next one.
Please do 8 Rangers of the North in the arena, Aaron. if I can call I'm using my platform to get what I want. Thank you.
Might as well try.
Shy bands.
Yeah, exactly. Get in touch if we're not allowed to do that. Yeah. Right. Okay. So the next one we've had from Jake Robson. He says, "Hi, Talking Shire." He says, personally, whilst I find part of the competitive play frustrating, such as gotcha or unsportsmanlike moments, or people being over-competitive, it is toy soldiers after all. It is arguably the main reason why the hobby didn't die after the Hobbit release, primarily due to the founding of the GBHL in 2014-ish, in my opinion. Competitive play allows large format tournaments, which creates great social gatherings, and this is what I enjoy the most of the hobby. I don't think narrative play can create the above, so for me it loses out. Having only played it a few times, I didn't enjoy it as much. Conversions are fun, but my issue with them, some of them are batshit crazy, and it's fun to see, but can sometimes lose immersion you get from using properly sculpted models. That said, I love converting models and kit bashing. Display boards are for... display boards are for cooks who want to win best painted. I'm joking, please don't at me. And painting is good when I am in the mood for it or have the time, which is rare. Therefore, in terms of ranking my list, it would be competitive play, conversions, narrative play, display board, painting. Love the podcast. Please can we have more smash or pass quizzes? It helps me get into the mind of the hosts. I want to know who Nick would smash or pass, ? That's from Jake.
Hey, our smash or pass, we didn't. That is not a reflection on any of the three of us. It is only a reflection on what our respondents.
It was a community response,
exactly.
Wasn't it? The 91 was it 91 people that got back to work?
Yeah, you know who you are.
Exactly. Shame on you all.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
There are enough characters left over that I could do several sequels to smash or pass. So it may, once I run out of ideas, it may come back.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a super cut of all of them and just do like the comprehensive smash or pass of the Lord of the Rings. Do every single character.
And then what we're going to do is publish the results. The Northeast community smash or pass decision and just have every character we've gone through and what percentage they got. That would be brilliant. Let's do that. Brilliant. Right, Phil has been in touch. We have, dear sirs, I am writing to inquire whether you would differentiate competitive play into 2 subcategories. I would humbly submit to the council that a Thursday night casual game at your local club is a fundamentally different from a GBHL 100 Sweatfest. Not that I've ever been to a competitive tournament, as Jonathan will attest, so who am I to say? Yours sincerely, Phil, official Rangers of the North mascot.
Yeah. Thank you for your service, Phil.
So we'll probably put in. I think that's what we're going to go through. I think some of them, competitive play can be kind of split into little subsections.
As far as for specifically that question, rather than my opinions, I'll get into when we talk about it properly.
Yeah,
I would say that the Thursday, mechanically, the Thursday casual games at a tournament are still both competitive play.
Yeah, agreed.
Because you're still doing the same scenarios, playing the same game, yada, yada, yada. And it sort of depends on the type of person as to whether or not that is actually split. Like, I, for one, don't take sweatier armies to a tournament than I take on a Thursday night. I take the exact same armies to the tournament as I take on the Thursday night.
Yeah.
And there are a not insignificant number of people that turn up on Thursday night with sweaty armies that they're also going to take to the tournaments as well. So I think for some people they might consider it two separate categories, but I think for enough people it's like you goofy at one and you goofy at the other, or you're sweaty at one and you're sweaty at the other.
Yeah.
Or you flip-flop both for both. Like sometimes you're sweaty at a tournament, sometimes you're sweaty on a Thursday, sometimes you're casual at a tournament.
Yeah. No, I'll probably go into that one I'm talking about as well,
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Excellent. So then that's off Phil. Thank you, Phil. Alan Cameron, he did say he'd sent an essay, and it does look like a bit of an essay. So he's actually...
Dramatic reading, please.
No. Competitive play, narrative play, painting, conversions, display board. I'm a player first and foremost, and while I don't mind painting or converting, I would never do it if I wasn't planning on using the models. I have a feeling competitive play is going to take a beating from people here, but you have to remember a friendly match play game is still competitive. That's kind of what Phil was saying, Competitive play does not mean sweaty win at all cost play. Competitive play means both armies are reasonably balanced and trying to win, or should be, which I find leads to much more fun games than when people don't really care about the outcome and just want to roll dice. What I enjoy with the game is getting to make my own choices in list building and tactics, which you don't get to do as much with narrative play, because you are locked into what is available, and a lot of them are generally written to push you towards a specific style of play, since you are simulating something. And if I am not making meaningful decisions in the game and just following a script and rolling dice, am I even playing? I could just watch the film and flip a coin every 5 minutes. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but I'd prefer to play a thematic, competitive game where I get to try to forge my own outcome than playing out a story where my options are limited by the scenario. Painting is fine, converting is fine, and I've never made a display board. That's from Alan Cameron.
I like that he describes narrative play as watching the film and flipping a coin, and it's not the bottom of his list. The disdain with which display boards and painting is treated.
Yeah, good spot. Yeah. No, I get it. I think again, I'll touch on it when I talk about my narrative play. Yes, you are kind of pushed towards an outcome per se, but I think with it's nice to recreate scenes and see which way they could go, depending on if this character's not having a good day, or if this army isn't having a good day, and just saying which way it could go. I think I like the narrative play as a campaign, because then you get buffs and kind of things that help and things that hinder in the following games because of what happened. That kind of helps narrative play out a little bit. Again, I'll touch on that as we go on, but yeah, I get it. I understand that competitive play is kind of something. Two armies that, especially when you go to a tournament and two armies are in the movies against each other, like, and you're just like, okay, this is fun. Like good versus evil, and it's on a specific board that
you
matches.
do get that little hit of like, ooh, nice, cool.
Cool. Thank you very much, Alan.
It's clear there's already people are transfixed by competitive narrative.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see if it continues.
So Dave Lal has been in touch. I probably should have read this in advance, given his history. Hold on. He says, read this out in its entirety. Okay, that's a good start.
Has someone got a buzzer ready?
When you enter competitive tournaments and you lose as much as you win, or lose more than you win, and you bemoan the janky or cheesy lists, dice, or the competitive nature of people, you either need to build better lists, get better at the game, or start a narrative group where you all hug and kiss and stroke each other's armpit hair. Dave. Cardigan, Nobed, Johnny the Porn Star, Tommy Nasty, the Milky Bar Kid, and the others get on just fine, and they're pleasant to play and don't take the awful lists. Maybe not Cardigan, I'm not reading that word out. Remember when... And I've read some words out. How are you, Dave? Remember when that Tom lad got sixth at our JBHL 100 wearing a cheeky smile and pushing camels around the table? I do. You're just average and you wish you were better. I get it. I'm average and I do too. So relax, go to the tournament, look for common ground with your opponent, try and have a laugh and put some leisure into your leisure time, and buy a ticket to the next Gondo in 60 Seconds event up the borough. I probably should have read that in advance. Yeah.
He's right. Do buy a ticket for the next.
Yeah, do buy. Yes,
seconds.
yeah.
They're very fun.
I'm just reading out what Dave wrote. So if you've got any problems with Dave's email, take it up with him.
buy a ticket for the next Gondor 60 seconds and tell him in person.
Yes, that's a great idea. So yes, we'll not go into that. I've got one of Todd Gautier, who's it just says the dice. I think Nick knows where this is going.
Yeah.
9 6s in a row. That's the important bit. The dice blessing you with 9 6s back to back to back and wiping out half an army in a matter of 2 minutes. And then he sent a crying emoji, and that is all.
Wow.
So when Nick mentioned one of his practice games with this list that he's taken to the Teams event, I think this is one of them.
Yeah. That was game number 2.
Nice.
Go on, tell what happened.
So Todd had some brand of Iron Hills Dwarves. I think it might have been Army of Erebor.
Mm-hmm.
And my strat was going to be, so I had Thorin's Company, I should say, and I'm taking the Slay, which I've got on record as saying isn't very good. And I mostly stand by that, but it turns out at 600 points specifically, there is a niche for it. And the strat was, I'll throw the Slay at his warriors, because maybe I'll kill a few. Need 6s, so, not reliable. But maybe I'll kill a few, and I can tie up a few others, and throw out some transfixers here and there. And then I can throw Gloin at his heroes.
Yep.
With, support from all the other dwarves I've got. What happened was 2 turns of us sort of posturing at each other.
Yeah.
Because he was miles away, and I didn't want the Slay to go out on its own. And then when I got within a comfortable charge range, I just started impacting. It caused me a bit of a problem, and I think I stopped slightly early because I wasn't measuring how far he was moving at first, because I was like, I'll get 1 or 2, and then he'll stop. No way am I getting to 10 inches. And then I was like, I think I've done like 4 inches now. And then it was another one. I was like, I think I need to stop, because I'm definitely approaching. Like, I've measured 4 inches, and I'm not 100% sure how many inches I did before that. I think it was about 4. And so I think I did 5 in a row with my new Baron of Dice dwarfed key dice, and I thought, this is looking a bit sketchy now. Yeah. So I asked Todd if I could use his dice, and then I did another 4 with his dice.
Terrible.
I did look up the odds of this, and I can't remember what it was, but honestly, you should put the lottery on. That was absolutely ridiculous. In fact, I'm going to quickly ask AI. 9 6s in a row.
To be fair, I was rolling 2 at a time, which does technically double the chances.
Yeah. So double whatever this tiny fraction is.
The probability of rolling 9 6s in a row on a standard 6-sided die is exactly 1 in 10,077,696.
So it's more like 5 million.
5 million.
More like 5.
I was rolling 2 dice.
1 in 5 million chance of that happening.
Yeah.
That is
5 million.
Absolutely insanity. That's just brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah.
That will, I guarantee you will roll 9 1s in round 1 at the tournament.
So, yeah.
But it still turned into a grind after that, because as soon as the chariot stopped, that was it.
Yeah.
It became a tar pit. And
I think it did its damage.
Because it did its damage, but the problem was, because it did a little bit too much, and he ended up very close to Dane. And
oh, dear.
I think he had Gloin as well.
Yeah.
I think that was the other hero he had.
Yeah, I think he did.
So I was very close to Dane and Gloin. I think I've also had an Oin. And I didn't want him to be close to them. I wanted him to be fighting the infantry, but I just churned my way through all the infantry, and then ended up very near to the big heroes. I was like, oh no. I can't win against them.
that didn't go as well as I thought, in the weirdest way possible. Wow. I love stuff like that. Yeah. That's great.
Ouch.
It's just the odds on that, though. Brilliant. Right, and we've got one last one from Glen College. He says, hi guys, despite the state of my own armies, I love to see everybody's well-painted miniatures. There's nothing like seeing a beautifully painted army opposite you, and it really elevates the game. And it goes without saying that there are some incredibly talented people in our northern community. I often feel quite guilty turning up with either part painted models or the ones I've had in my collection since painting them at age 14. I think we'll all relate to that one. And retrieving from the Christmas roses tin where they've lived before I got back into the hobby. Having a pretty busy work-home life, I know it's going to take a long time to get everything painted to a standard that I can be proud of, and I think until then, I just have to remind myself that we all do this for the fun of it, and not to stress out about it too much. And in the meantime, just enjoy seeing what everybody else is bringing and soak up as many tips as possible. Luckily, with my dice rolls, nothing is on the table for too long anyway. Thanks, Glenn. So yeah, it is a good point. Yeah, having that kind of pile of shame or the pile of 20-year-old minis.
Definitely.
But I do love seeing a really well painted army on the table.
Yeah.
And you don't mind getting smashed to bits when the model looks great. At least from my point of view. Because I don't know. I think it's the best painted at events. I just love looking at what people have done, and kind of it's kind of a love letter to the game when people put that much effort and time into it. So
well, there are solutions. Like if you feel like you're strapped for time and you want a nice painted army, but you don't feel like you have time to have a nice painted army, then the easiest way around that is just play White Council. And you're going to need at most 6 models, usually less.
Yes, Hero Hammer. That's what we're recommending here. Yeah,
I do. I can relate to hiding all of my old models. But every time I paint an army, I'm like, this is my favorite army. I'm never gonna get rid of the ones that I did in the last 6 months. I'm never gonna use them again. But like stuff that before I got back into it, I never, like my Lurtz's Scouts. I never use those. My Eagles, although with the way that the Northeast League's doing at the moment, I'm considering bringing the Eagles out of retirement. But yeah, it is just fun. Yeah, and like I think like the problem with painting is that you spot your mistakes more than anyone else.
Yes.
So like even models that you think, there's a massive splodge on the bottom of this man's cape. It's like, no one else is going to see that, man.
No,
don't worry about that.
Even stuff that's actually quite obvious. So like my Fell Beast, my bright pink Fell Beast that I took to 1 Peter Bowl and then retired because it was neither fun to play nor fun to play against. I don't know how it happened, but I obviously slipped with a paintbrush at some point and it has a big splodge of gunmetal on his wing.
Nice.
No one noticed.
No,
I didn't notice that.
I didn't notice until my 3rd game, I think. and then I've been steaming about it since because I haven't got around to fixing it, and I've left it so long now I can't remember what I actually used to paint his wing.
Oh no.
So I'm going to need to trial and error to fix that at some point. But yeah, like nobody spotted that. And my Radagast Sleigh and several of my other Thorns Company models actually, because when I was basing them, and I used like a bit of PVA to glue the rocks down.
Yeah.
It was really cold in my house.
Yeah.
So the PVA didn't dry properly, and several of those have really shiny patches on their bases that drive me absolutely nuts.
No.
And again, no one's
either
they haven't noticed or they've noticed and haven't commented on it.
No.
But like, it's only really when the light hits it just right.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I've been painting up some Wildmen recently just as kind of a palette cleanser because it all just sat in me thing, and I've just been using contrast paints, and I put all the contrast paints on and thought this looks terrible, I don't like this at all, but I kept going, and I then put a wash over the entire thing like as you do, just drown it in Nuln Oil, and then did a quick dry brush of Carrick Stone over the top. I watched a video on YouTube, I can't remember who it was. Quick dry brush of Carrick Stone, and then the mini just looks amazing, and I was like, I mean, if you look really closely, there's like, I've gone over the edges here and I've gone over the edges there, and some of the blues are a little bit patchy, but from a distance where everyone else is going to see them, they actually look really good, and I'm actually quite proud of them. I'm not going to put any more effort in them because there's so many to paint, and they are just troops, and they're probably just going to die after 10 minutes anyway, so I'm not going to put loads of effort into the troops, and they look great, but obviously if you look really close, so I kind of try to get myself out of the mindset of everything has to be perfect and more into the mindset of, does this look good from a distance? Because as you said, no one usually tells. You usually can tell from a distance, and I think I've managed to do 12 in like a couple of days because I've kind of lessened the standards, but they still look great. And I think that's one way I'm going to get through this army quite quickly, is by they still look good from a distance. Basically, I need to stop critiquing them because I'll use a magnifying glass and critiquing them that close up. No one's ever going to see them that close up unless they bring my magnifying glass and have a look through it, which I'm not going to do.
Well, that's all like, I think that's one thing as well. Like one of the mistakes that I think most of us make that convince us that we're worse painters than we are is we share them on social media, and when you share them on social media, you take a closer picture. Your camera is higher resolution than your eyes are. So it looks a lot worse on the camera than it does in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I've done that a lot before. I've got some models where, like, on the table, I'm like, this looks really nice. And then I look at the picture I took, I was like, ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, as Glenn said, just enjoy it. Enjoy the paint. Like if you're not enjoying the painting side, just take the pressure off yourself. Just put some colour on it, and just get them on the table and give them a go. But yeah, take the pressure off yourself, and just that's really helped me over the last couple of weeks. So there you go. That's the community questions done. So if you do want to get in touch with the podcast, it is talkingshire@outlook.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe to the YouTube. It helps with knowing how much you are watching and how much you're enjoying the content. We do have started doing a few live streams of event previews. It's been quite fun. There won't be often. There'll be every now and again. But because obviously one was for my event and then one was for your event. So have a look on YouTube, watch them back. They're a lot of fun. And I also want to say hello to all our national and international listeners, because we have lots of people listening in Australia and New Zealand and around the world, which is now we've been doing it long enough. It's not like bots. It's actually confirmed listeners over this period of time. Like, they're consistently coming back. So, like, thank you for listening. It's really appreciated. And as much as this is from the perspective of the Northeast, just get in touch. Let me know where you're from. And kind of shout out your local community, and let me know that you're listening. Basically, it'd be nice to hear from you. It was nice to hear from Aaron. It was really nice. And yeah, we're just always going to say like our topics from our point of view, but just let us know your point of view. It'd be quite nice to hear. So thank you very much. Right, we'll go on to our main topic then, which is our top 5 ranking of the different things. So we had hobby, so painting and stuff like that, narrative play, competitive play, like building boards and stuff like that, and conversions and things. So yeah, we had a discussion before we started about how we were going to do this, and we kind of just said, right, we'll start with someone's number 5 and then go from there. So who wants to kick off?
I mean, my number 5 is definitely not going to match either of yours, I don't think.
Oh, right, okay.
My number 5 is going to be display boards.
Nice. Okay.
I just don't care.
My number 5 is display board.
Is it? There you go. It's actually my number 4.
Yeah.
There you
it's
go.
quite low down, yes. So yeah, we'll talk about display boards then.
I'm just not bothered. I've made like, when it comes to like judging best painted and you do the vote, I always ignore the display board.
Yes.
And I just look at the actual models.
Yeah.
Because I had a theory about this, about like, I'm not the only person who's had this theory that a display board will carry your army. And this was confirmed for me when the only event that I got any best painted votes in, and I forget how many I got. It was like 2 or 3. It was at one of the borough events, and I was either tied for 3rd or 4th place. I forget which it was, but it was enough to get mentioned.
Yeah.
And that was when I took a display board.
Oh, right, okay.
And that display board was shit.
I disagree.
It was the lid of a shoebox with a pile of grass, a pile of sand.
That was still a bit wet, I believe.
Still very wet. It stank to high heaven. I used far too much glue. It was seeping through. And a swing set that I made out of something, sprue bits, I imagine, sprue bits and wire. And I put my white council on it.
Yep.
And that was enough. And that's the same white council that I've taken to numerous events and never gotten a single vote. But then as soon as I put Thrain on a swing, I get several. So that just confirmed to me. I was like, it's nothing to do with the army.
Yeah. So I mean, I was speaking to Peter about this actually, and he had a similar view where the best painted, it should be on how well you've painted the army.
Yeah.
And I agree. I would definitely put, because the problem we've got in most tournaments in the GBHL is there needs to be a best painted winner, because that's one of the categories.
Yeah.
So there has to be best painted. So that is always going to be a thing. But you don't want to also discourage people, bring in display boards because they've put a lot of time and effort, and it might be what some people love. So you've got to maybe as a TO kind of say, look, in the best painted competition, yes, they've got a nice board, but you've got to look at the quality of the painting and look at how well they've painted the army. And yeah, maybe how they've painted maybe details on the board as well, because they've probably matched up the standard of their painting with. So maybe not the board as a whole and like let that distract you, but look at the models in detail if you can to choose. It's a tricky one, because
if it were me, I'd make them 2 separate categories. I'd say you either go for the best display board, in which case the quality of the board matters, and also the dynamism of whatever you're showing. If it's just like, you know, a rocky outcrop and you got the army lined up, that's not going to win. But if you do like a recreation of,
I felt like a personal dig that, didn't it, Jonathan?
Can we flash up a picture of my display board?
I will show you the display board.
No, but on yours, it's like it's like the scene where they're actually
isn't it?
going around the edge of the mountain and they're on the narrow bit. I'm thinking like I've seen somewhere it's just like a little mesa and then it's just 4 rows of warriors.
Yeah.
Versus something like if somebody did like a recreation of the, I don't know, like the Last Alliance, and you've got like, say, Isildur on about to throw the ring into the mountain while the army's battling down at the bottom, something like that, where there's like a scene being told rather than just my army's lined up on a rock.
Yeah.
That would score way more points to me, and that is what makes a good display board. Whereas best painted army should just be on a table.
Yes.
Then you sit down and you look at how are these actual models painted.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be how I would approach it.
At the Hobby Masters, display boards weren't allowed to put your armies on display boards, so it was literally just for the painting category.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
So it was just looking at the models, and I thought that was it's a bit strict. Like it feels a bit bad if like someone brings a display board that they can't
Then
put the
show
models
off.
on there.
Yeah.
So I think there should like you say there should be provision to have a display board category, or like I was thinking a distinction between best painted and best army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like best army would for me include models, like the list building, like whether, I mean, not that thematic list building is very like it's hard to avoid in this edition.
'Cause they're all fairly thematic,
But it's the board, it's the army, like it's the painting, it's the kit bashing, everything would be included in the best army category. Whereas best painted is just how the model's painted.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think that's why I've leaned into, especially with my August tournament, best painted single miniature, because then you have to look at just that miniature. You're not looking at the whole thing. You're not looking at the whole army. You're just looking at that one miniature. It also makes it more accessible for those who don't have a lot of time. Like they could put loads of effort into the hero, the general, and then the rest of the army can just be like. So you can just get in the points for that.
Especially if you got like one person bringing, you know, usurpers of Edoras, they're going to have like 75 models. They're not all going to be well painted. Like you've got to.
But they've got loads of time into like Wolf or
put it into one guy.
or Freck or whatever. So I think. So that's why I'm leaning into that, so that the display board is separate. Because I'm doing best single miniature, and I think I'm doing best army. I can't remember off the top of my head. So that'll include everything. Because there are people who do. Like, I've done display boards in the past. I have got number 4 on my list because I do them as a kind of extra side project. Like if I'm feeling a bit kind of jaded of painting miniatures, and I've got like an army sitting there, and I think, I've got an idea of how that might look on a board, and think it's nice to showcase my army, but on it rather than just a table, on something that's a bit just a bit better. Put them in a scene, or put them in like a location, and so I like doing it as a kind of extra hobby project more than anything else, as something like a palette cleanser, or I've got an idea in my head and I just want to get it out. But it's not high up on my list because they take so much time and effort. So I think that's why it's number 4, because I like doing them, but it's not priority. It's definitely not priority for me.
I think and as someone in case anyone didn't know this about me, I want to win best painted awards. It's great. It's the best thing ever.
Really? It's revelations.
Yes. But like I'm aware when I go to tournaments, or when I'm preparing for a tournament, that, you know, even if the TO says, listen, don't consider the display boards, just look at the models. Yeah. If I put it on a display board, like there are going to be people who are like, oh, that's cool. I know that scene, or I recognise that, or there's clearly effort gone into that other than just the painting. Yeah. So I do feel a little bit of a sort of, not a pressure to, but like I feel a pull to do a display board when I'm going to a tournament, because it's like it does draw the eye, and I think that's something like my painting in particular. I think it's all greens, browns, and greys, baby. But as soon as you put it on a board, like people do tend to look at it a bit,
a bit longer and a bit closer.
Especially if it's an event that doesn't have a table specifically for the painting, so you're just like, just leave your armies out somewhere,
and you get drawn
and then
to
it's
those.
like, they're going to get drawn to the ones that have a board, and it's going to be hard to tell the difference between the ones that are just discarded after the last game because the person's gone for lunch versus the people that have
Yeah.
not got a board and just left it on the table.
You can stand in
Yeah.
the corner of the room, skim across, and every time you see a display board, you can go, I'll go and look at that. I'll go and look at that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's just
Absolutely.
an army laid out, you might miss it.
Yeah. So I mean, the display boards have their place, but yeah, as TOs, it might be worth us looking at how best army is and best painted is kind of scored, and make it fair, because like, people don't have a lot of time in, or kind of they do put time into their armies, but haven't got time for a display board, and that does need to be considered. It's not like they can't do it; it's just because they haven't. And it's not high up on people's priority list. So
And it's the other way around as well. Like, some people are like really good terrain builders.
yes, oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
And they just don't care about painting models.
yeah.
And like, they should also be rewarded
Oh,
for
absolutely,
that terrain
yeah.
building that they do, because
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
just different strokes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What a
absolutely.
great point for me to make. Never, everyone do your own thing that you like. Is that the first time you've heard
sound
that?
advice. Sound advice. I like that. Yes.
Yeah.
So
So yeah,
boards.
display board's getting a solid two 5s and a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start with.
Ouch.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It probably is kind of representative of the community. Like, when you think about how many events you go to, there's not normally, like, most events have like 20 plus people at them, and there's often less than 5 display boards.
Yeah.
Just
agreed.
it's so much
It's just like-
time.
It is
Yeah.
a lot of
Completely
time.
different skill.
Yeah.
So much
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of advice for if you are building a display board, though, and you might agree with us, is have an idea in your head. Maybe sketch it out if you can draw, or just write down your ideas, and then just do it. Like, just get. I'll use picture frames as my base for them.
I do that too.
Yeah, just a picture frame. Turn the cardboard upside down, and then just fill it with cork or whatever, sort of kind of a base thing, and then just build it from there. Just kind of, a rock might look good there, I'll put that there. Or this might look good there. But go with whatever's in your head, and you just kind of work your way through it, step by step. That looks good there. That goes there. That doesn't look good. I'll take that off, and just try it. If you're interested in it, then just give it a go.
It's definitely a feel your way through it. Process, I think.
Definitely.
Unless you're building like a scale replica of like Barad-dûr.
Oh yeah.
Something like that. But like natural features, just
just try it. It's like the way I've kind of look at it is it's like basing a model, but more, but on a bigger base, essentially. So whatever you do to base your models, just do that on a grander scale, basically, and add bits in. But just try it if you really want to. If you really think, I'd really like to do a display board, just go for it. Just buy the picture frame, or buy that foam that you need to buy, and just try it. Give it a go. It might work out, it might not, but just try it. You never know. So I've learned loads from for basing models, and for what works and what doesn't in terms of what looks good on a base by just trying boards and products I like and stuff like that. So so there you go. Right, so building a board.
Should we do your number 5?
My number 5 is conversions, and that's mostly because one, I don't have the confidence to do it. That's the main reason. I don't have a lot of confidence in, I'm going to cut up this model now and put it back together in a way I think I'm not very creative in that side as well. I like working with what I've got. I can't imagine something a different way. I've done it with bases. I've recently put my Shelob together, and I've modelled the steps. On the new Sheila model, if you've seen it, there's a big gap in between. She's on a rock on one side and a rock on one side, on the other side. There's a big gap underneath her. But I thought, I've seen some other people's Shelobs, and there's like the steps. So I thought, tell you what, I'm going to try that. So I got the model and putty, made the steps, and I really like it. But to an actual model, I just don't have the confidence to do it. I feel like I just make a hash of it, and then I've ruined a model, basically. But I think you guys have different opinions on this one, especially Nick.
Yeah, so obviously it scores really high for me. I would probably have it as number 1, but it'll be tied with painting as number 1.
Yeah.
For me, purely because converting it's all well and good, but then you still got to paint it afterwards, otherwise it'll just look weird. Like it will never look good until it's painted.
Yes. Yeah.
Like the point that you find out that you've done a good job on your conversion is when you put the primer on it.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot especially if you've used modelling putty or green stuff, it will always look bad until you put the primer on it.
Yeah.
And then that ties everything together, and then that makes it look natural. I think what works against long-term Middle-earth players in terms of getting into conversions is that there are very few spare parts
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the kits, whereas I started with 40k,
Yeah.
where there were lots of spare parts, and there still are lots of spare parts.
Yeah.
And like, so one of the earlier conversions I did was a Tyrannid Prime.
Yeah.
Back when there was no model for it, so you had to convert to warrior,
Yeah.
or paint it. Like most people just paint a warrior different.
Yeah.
But I wanted mine to have a sword, and there was no sword in the kit. There was no sword at that scale, and so I found out a lot of people would take the scything tile on, snap it off, and turn it upside down. So I copied that,
Oh, okay.
and that's a really simple one because it's still all the tendons connect in roughly the same way.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to get into it is to do simple things like that, where you just reposition something, just turn a hand around,
Yeah.
or glue an extra bit from one kit onto something else.
Yeah.
But you can only do that if you've got plenty of spares,
Yeah.
which is where it's tricky with Middle-earth, particularly if you could collect like one of the older kits, like if you mostly use Mordor Orcs,
'Cause it's
for
just
instance, you're going to have basically nothing left
It's
over.
just clip and play, isn't it? You just
Yeah,
clip them
you
off
just
and
snip them
off you
off.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, like those kits are the ones that you really want to be converting because they're so similar. And you're going to have a lot of them, and you're going to have the same
Yeah, I
orc
think-
showing up 17 times in your army.
The biggest is the Rivendell elves for me is the so it's so the same. It's just the same pose.
Yeah.
All of the elves are exactly the same. There's like so there might be a slight difference in the way like where the hands are, but they're all the same position. So yeah.
I did very small conversions on all of my, well, not all of my Ministry of Earth. I did the first 12 are fine.
Yeah.
I just kept them as they were. But then the next ones I've repositioned, like their arms, or I swapped a spear for a sword or whatever.
Yeah.
Just so that there's a little bit of variation.
Yeah.
But there's not loads. I made a captain, give him a cape. That was quite fun.
Nice.
I quite enjoy converting. It's just like there are so many good sculpts for characters
Yeah.
in Middle Earth that I don't feel the need to convert them. And then since doing my Ministry of Earth conversion, I don't want to convert a whole army again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even a conversion.
I think
if anyone looks at my army, you realise how minimal I'm talking here.
Yeah.
My only big conversions actually, my models were for Brass Oasis with the Necrons, and I turned a scythe into a flail. I turned an orb into a skull, fairly basic ones, and put a cape on someone, then attached a like a mace, and so I kind of like the conversions when the kind of kit needs it. Like so, the models in your game have certain equipment, and I wanted to build them a certain way, so I used a Necron model and then sculpted it in that way. But again, you don't have that in Middle Earth. The model you need is there in the box.
Yeah, I think one of the easiest ways to motivate yourself to do it in something like Middle Earth is pick something expensive that you don't want to pay that money for.
Yeah,
but you still want it to be like. So one of the ways that I got good at converting was challenging myself to make a cheaper version of something while still being Warhammer World compliant, just in case I wanted to go to Warhammer World.
Yes,
and that puts so many restrictions on you that it actually takes a lot of the pressure off.
Right.
Because it limits your options.
Yeah.
Because it can feel a bit daunting if you think, I've got to custom sculpt this, custom sculpt that, I've got to go find some kit from the millions and millions of kits out there that you can use, or I've got to 3D print this or 3D print that. It's like, if you just think, no, I want this to still remain official.
Yeah.
Then that brings the scope right in. So, for example, my Radagast Slay, I was like, I don't like the official model, and it's also far too expensive, especially because I already owned a Radagast on foot because I had the metal one.
Yeah.
So I was like, by necessity, I want to make this out of someone else.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of just going through all the scraps that I owned to see what I could make out of them.
Yeah.
And then, like, you don't even necessarily need to plan ahead, because, like, what I made him out of, we mentioned on a previous episode, it was, a couple of wargs that I turned into lions, which is a skill that I picked up from Age of Sigmar, and then bits from the Warhammer Giant kit to make the actual sleigh.
Hey. Shout out Warhammer Giant
Everyone
kit.
take a shot.
We haven't mentioned the other one yet. Keep your other shots.
That wasn't the plan. The plan was I was going to buy something like a Warhammer the Old World kit, because there was a couple of chariots in that, maybe like a Razor Gore chariot or something from the Beast Mem, and I was going to put a pony on it, and it was going to be like a Santa sleigh pulled by a pony.
Nice.
I just couldn't find one that looked right. The scale was a bit off. I couldn't find a decent pony model without spending loads of money.
Yeah.
If Bugman's cart had been available at the time, I probably would have just bought that. Because that's what I've used for my converted Gandalf's cart. But it wasn't available at the time.
Yeah.
Because it was still when Old World was in its infancy. So I just, scoured through what I had and then like went monkey mode, and I was just picking up pieces and just clicking them together to see, does this look right? Does this look right? Does that look right? Because a lot of it was stuff that I'd snipped off to use in a different conversion and decided, nah, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then thrown it in the box.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of it. And then eventually you can really challenge yourself by imposing your own restrictions. So one that I did recently that I sent you to the picture of was I wanted to make something using nothing but the Warhammer Giant kit. And I've ended up with a nice Black Numenorian Marshal out of it, which is going to be showing his face in August at Hope Remains.
Yes, he will.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I mean, it's that sort of thing I just wouldn't even think about. I just wouldn't even know where to start. But I suppose as you said, you've got the kit sitting there kind of just in boxes. The only kit I've got, like spare kit I've got sitting in boxes is like Necron, like the guns basically sitting there.
Yeah.
Or the Tyranid. But I've got loads of Tyranid guns sitting there. But I mean, if I ever do a Hobbit army, that could be an interesting idea. Just hobbits with all of the, instead of having bows, just having loads of las guns or loads of like, probably nice 40k weapons.
I'm basically what mine were. Except I think mine might be World War II rifles.
Nice. Excellent. So I mean, if I ever do something silly like that, then I've got the stuff sitting there. But I think I don't have the capacity to be that creative.
I will say,
That's
if you're thinking of doing something like that with hobbits, possibly reconsider.
A lot of hobbits, isn't it?
It's not just that; they're all metal, and metal is horrible to trim. And if you're going to do it, I would honestly recommend probably using the sheriffs and not the archers.
Nice, okay.
Because the archers, you would be amazed which parts of that model are just like fused to their back or their chest or their face. Like stuff that you wouldn't consider. And it just is, and it just makes them absolutely horrible to try and turn into anything else. When you're there like, oh, he's got this quiver that takes up 60% of his body that I've now got to try and trim away with something. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no! Because all of mine, I did head swaps on all of mine because originally I converted them for Trench Crusade, so I gave them all helmets. I gave them all like knights helmets.
That's funny.
And that was awful trying to snip the heads off metal hobbits.
Yeah. Nice.
So if you're gonna do like a goofy full army thing like that, do something plastic for your own sanity. Do it with something plastic.
Yeah, fair enough.
My Arathorn stand army is currently at max capacity of sort of sculpted official without duplicating. I've got 6 of the Range of the North, 6 of the Dunedain. So my next ones, the next 4 that I do to get me up to 600 points, I will need to convert them, which is why it's taken me almost a year now to start on the converting, because I just have no idea. Like, I want it to look authentic to Middle-earth.
Yeah.
But I also want it to look different enough that... I don't know, it's a weird balance to try and, like, strike. And I don't have a lot of sort of kits to bash. I've just got Wildman stuff from the starter set.
Oh, yeah, they've got a bunch of spare bits now.
Yeah, I mean, Wildman...
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Wildman with... If you just made like if you bought your box of Wildmen and then just gave them cloaks, that'd be one easy way of doing something.
Yeah.
Another one be like Rangers of Gondor with some head swaps. Give them like Numenorian helmets or something if you wanted to have Rangers with armor.
Yeah.
Generally just something not particularly tanky looking, and then make a cloak out of green stuff would be a relatively easy way.
I was thinking about doing like just adding chainmail essentially to existing sculpts
with like green stuff.
With like green stuff, yeah.
Okay. You'll do one
before you come out.
You'll do one.
I've done green stuff chainmail before. Yes, it is a complete. It's tedious.
I've never even attempted it because I just look at it and I know it's going to be awful.
It's like once you get into the swing of it, it's not too bad, but you have to be vigilant because you will do like 8 rows of chainmail and you'll be like, that's great. You're just like putting it in, putting it out. It's like sewing. And then on that last row, you'll go like 1 millimeter too far to the left, and you'll smudge both. There'll be a massive hole in your chainmail, and you'll have to start again.
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't-
thought that might be an easy way.
This doesn't sound good to me.
differentiating.
I'm not doing this.
It
I've
is
done
quite
that with-
therapeutic.
I've done that with fur when I've sculpted something really furry.
Yeah.
It's a similar process. The best if you're doing like a relatively large model, like when I was doing like Giants Warhammer or when I did the Grinch.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
If you get impatient and you think, okay, that section's done, I'll start on the next section. It's very easy to not realise that when you're holding the model, you turn it around and you just end up with a big thumbprint where you're just working. You turn it back, it's like, ah! And not only have you ruined the job that you've just done, but it's starting to cure now. It's going to be even harder to get it back. And sometimes you have to just like yank that piece off and throw it in the bin and then
Start
just
again.
completely start from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with like conversions, but like when I started, I was just molding putty by hand and then just mashing it into the models and trying to like squeeze it. It looks like something all right. I mean, I was like 12.
Oh, yeah,
So-
that's half what I still do, to be
But
fair.
like, I think like knowing that like you can use like Vaseline and stuff, and
Bit on it. We're fine. If you
We're still
use
talking about conversions, right?
yeah. if you use Vaseline, it won't stick very well. So if you're using it to
so you have to. So how I do it is I mash the green stuff or the milliput that I'm using into the model, and then I coat the sculpting tool that I'm using in Vaseline, so that then that doesn't stick to the green stuff.
okay.
Otherwise, when you're like trying to like sculpt it and push it around, the green stuff can just go, actually I fancy sticking to the tool now, and then the whole thing just
Yeah.
spreads out. It's horrible. It's soul crushing.
I will usually give it 10 minutes to begin to cure before I start.
That's fair.
faffing it. Well, in theory, I usually get bored and then start and then ruin it 3
regret it,
times. And then by the time that I've had to, I'm on my 3rd or 4th attempt, then it's cured
Ready.
enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll just
Yeah.
if I've got a double like paint wire, I'll just dip my tool in the paint wire, or if
Yeah.
not, you just lick it.
Nice.
Nice. Fair play.
It doesn't taste that bad. It's fine.
That's how you get green stuff stuck in your teeth.
Nice. Yeah.
It builds character.
And a strong immune system.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, excellent. So that was conversions. Yes.
So conversions was your one.
Yeah, tied to painting because I think they go together.
Nice.
If we'd have been talking about any other game, conversions would have been just straight up number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Middle Earth doesn't lend itself to conversions as well as
Yeah, that's
a
fair.
lot of other war
Yeah.
games do.
Yeah.
Mostly because of what I said about like the kits
But I think that's why
not
it's
really having spares, and because it's 28 mil, like
It's
historical
so-
scale,
yeah.
not heroic scale.
Yeah.
Then it's harder to kit bash stuff because
Yeah.
a lot of the model kits out there, most of them are heroic scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you go to like Perry or Victrix miniatures.
And I think that's why it's so low down for me, because I'm primarily a Middle Earth player and always have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
It was number 3 for me.
Oh.
So we had an exactly even spread of.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm gonna write these down. I'm gonna add them all up at the end. Why everyone's
Always
scores
doing
stuff.
stats, nice. That was your number 3.
My number. That
was your number
was
three.
my
Yes,
number 3.
yes,
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that
So
immediately.
we've done 5. Have we all had number 5 for everyone?
We've all
We have, yes.
number 5.
Yeah, number 4. Mine was building a board. So what's
so-
your number 4?
My number 4 is, and this feels. I wish it was high, but it's not. But it's narrative play.
Right. Okay.
So
narrative play. We're going to that.
Yeah, so like I really wanted to combine competitive narrative play, and I'll get to it. Sort of, I think narrative would be sort of like my 3/4 since I'm only going to have 4 since I combine paint and convert it into 1.
Yeah.
But I do sort of they smear into each other for me now with competitive play,
Right.
because in my eyes, narrative scenarios should still be competitive. You're just
yeah.
tweaking the goalposts rather than having, because you can't have mirrored objectives, because that won't work for whatever
Yeah.
narrative you're trying to push.
Yeah.
But I also think competitive scenarios should have a narrative to them. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot of competitive scenarios out there where there isn't really a story being told other than, oh, these fellas are bashing each other's heads in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not super exciting. I think it's more fun when there is a narrative being told.
Yeah.
And I'll get to it when we actually talk about competitive properly, but I do have some beef with some of the competitive scenarios
Yeah.
that has nothing to do with how competitive they are. They're perfectly functional scenarios. It's purely the framing that I have beef with.
Well, we'll kind of so we'll have to kind of define what we think is narrative and what we think
Yeah.
is competitive, because obviously they're going to blur into each other in some ways. So the way I would look at narrative is the way I'm doing it in my head is the scenarios you get, the Return of the King, Two Towers, the Fellowship, the Hobbit ones that the Games Workshop put together, and then the books. So you've got the Gondor at War. I mean, in the old edition, but in the new edition you've got like the Treachery of Gollum, and we've had the obviously the Angmar one, the Rise of the Witch King.
The Rohan.
Yeah, there's the Rohan ones. For me, that's the narrative ones. So I think the narrative for me is the campaign, like I've touched on before, is where you can go from one to the next, and you can play out the stories. That would be, yes, you can. They can be quite competitive because you're trying to win, because you are trying to win. But in my head, I'm keeping it separate in that way. That's how I'm doing it.
If that's what we're defining as narrative, so to me, a narrative scenario, this is because I came from a Warhammer background.
Yeah.
In Warhammer, narrative is the scenario is telling a narrative.
Yes.
And you can use any army in it.
Yes.
But the narrative will still be there.
Yeah.
Rather than there is a specific story and you have to use these specific models.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the Middle Earth way of doing it. So, that Middle Earth way of doing it tends to rank lower for me.
Yes.
Because of the restrictions.
Yeah. Okay.
Making it a nuisance for the majority of players.
Yeah.
Like, how many scenarios require you to use Easterlings or Harad? Like, one? Like Pelennor Fields?
I don't know.
Like,
you put me on the spot.
But like, there is a place. I think what they need to lean into more for those narrative scenarios are ones that completely turn the function of the game on its head.
Yeah.
So, like, you could have a really fun narrative scenario potentially. Take the Treachery of Gollum as an example. You could have a scenario where you're just using Frodo, Sam, Gollum, and Shelob.
Yeah.
And nothing else, and come up with a bunch of kooky rules to make that function, where you've got someone controlling Shelob that, you know, doesn't know where Frodo or Sam are and has to follow some sort of route unless she's got line of sight on them.
I think
then Gollum, like, you've got to use Gollum to like bait her out.
You are actually describing one of the.
Is that in the book?
That's actually
that is great. I like that.
That's in the book.
But then you've got like.
Well done.
I think there's a scenario.
Well done. You could work for GW.
But then I think
James
there's one.
Workshop.
There's one I think in the Two Towers PDF where it's like, that's it. It's the Ents March to War scenario. I forget what it's called. Yeah. Where it's just a bunch of Ents, and then it's like very specifically you need this many orcs with two-handed weapons. This many orcs with bows,
I have them on my tablet.
Yeah. And it's like that one. That's just a normal battle, but with a billion restrictions on it.
Yeah.
Not so fussed on that. I think with that one, you'd be better off designing a scenario themed on that encounter, with rules themed on that encounter that you can use any army with.
So what I like about that, because that particular scenario, I've actually thought about playing at home, and because it has flaming arrows.
Yeah.
So if an orc makes a shooting attack against an ent and scores a natural 6 to hit, it subsequently wounds the target, then the ent will suffer 2 wounds rather than 1 and will immediately be set ablaze.
Yeah.
So that's like it's so the way I like the narrative one is because it gives you that sort of extra rule to make it.
But all that says to me is why isn't that in the game anyway? Like, why aren't Ents flammable?
Yeah.
You've got wild men with flaming brands that don't do anything to do with fire.
Clearly thought about it in some ways. Because that should
be in the that should just be in the Ents rules anyway. Like, if flaming
just to be clear, you're advocating for shooting to be better
against Ents specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flaming arrows only good against Ents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, but that's why I like narrative play, because it gives you kooky things that, I mean, as you said, should be in the game. But this scenario has actually been written for the new edition. It's been because they brought out certain ones from the old edition and made them into. So that is actually part of the new edition rules. So I don't know why flaming arrows aren't a thing. They should absolutely be a thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe they're just, as you said, the set ablaze. If you get hit but don't kill, it's set ablaze.
Yeah.
Like.
So is there a siege weapon that can have flaming attacks specifically for in siege games? Am I thinking about that right? I feel like there's one. I feel like maybe the Mordor catapult.
The Gondor trebuchet, I think, can have flaming ammunition.
Yeah,
I don't think it actually sets anything ablaze.
But it's for like siege games. I think it's useful in or something like that. And I feel like you could do a similar thing with flaming arrows, where it's like if you're doing a siege game and some of the terrain is made out of wood, like say you're doing a Rohan-themed siege game, flaming arrows can then torch the building.
Yeah.
Give it is it Sid Briarthorn that can set terrain on fire?
Yes, it is.
Have a rule sort of similar to that only very specific models have. Specific models get flaming arrows. May even make it a once per game. Once per game, you may let off a volley of flaming arrows and target a piece of terrain. You still roll to hit if they hit.
Yeah.
Maybe you set the terrain on fire. Low points, high risk, high reward. Like it's like 2 roll-offs. There's a chance you're going to fail either of them.
Yeah.
And you can have that as like a thematic, fun, narrative-driven rule.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which also affects Ents. There you go. Great.
Yeah.
Now you've got your...
Yeah.
Now you've got your Ents go to war scenario.
I agree that there could be more stuff in the competitive side. But then, that we are now discussing how narrative could impact the competitive side of it. Rather than, the narrative.
Just the narrative by
narrative
itself.
Play.
Yeah.
If we're taking narrative play as just
as a separate
scenarios.
entity, yes. Yeah.
So it's it's...
But it's like if you're tied to one specific scene,
yes,
and the game is still working the way that it normally would be, that should just be a competitive scenario.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's one where the game has been completely done in the head, like the Gollum one, that is where the narrative should be its own thing.
Yeah.
I think that's where it's cool and fun, where you've got weird shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think looking at this one in particular, because you brought the Fangorn one, because I'm looking through the rules there. They've also got the option. If they lose the combat against 3 evil models, they can pull it down. Yeah. They can knock it prone instead of making strikes, which is again really kind of thematic because it happened in the movie. And I don't know if that would work in a competitive setting because it just imbalances.
So the way I would make that work in a competitive setting,
the
way I would make that work in a competitive setting is by having a specific orc unit, an orc, whatever it's called, and give it a piece of equipment.
Kind of like the Berserkers,
and then
with
make
the flame.
The rule be if 3 or more models with this rule are in combat with a monster,
then they can bring it down.
Then you can bring it down.
Yeah.
Or even make it so that similar to how you stop a Mumax, make it so that if models equipped with this equipment have equal to the total sum of equal to a monster's strength, you can yank it down.
Yeah.
Because then you'd probably for bigger things you might need 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's how you could do that as a rule that works in competitive without busting the game.
Yeah.
While still being themed around a particular...
Yeah.
See, loads of the rules in the competitive game are narratively driven rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
Themed around a specific scene in the films or in the books.
Yeah.
And a lot of these ones, they could just be that.
Yeah. So I've ranked narrative play quite high up. I've put it second on my list, but on the with the caveat of, because there's a kind of overlap, that it's the competitive and narrative are really close together. I've only really ranked it slightly higher because of the campaign I'm playing at the minute. I'm playing the Angmar campaign with Graham and Andrew, and both scenarios so far have come down to the last couple of dice rolls. They've been really well balanced with the armies that we're playing, and it's telling the story of what happened during the Rise of Angmar. And because obviously the Rise of Angmar it's an interesting story that we haven't been told yet. So you're not playing something from the movie or from the books. You're playing a story that's happened, but you're playing it in detail. You're kind of writing the story by playing the game. And actually they've slightly who won the first one? I think Evil won the first one, but only just. Where Good should have won essentially in the narrative, but because you get a debuff in the future scenario, so that the evil player gets an auto priority in a following scenario, and the kind of campaign version of narrative I really really enjoy because there's a reward for winning, so it obviously becomes competitive, but you don't really mind how it finishes because you're always going to be playing the next one. You're always going to be playing the next scenario the way it is in the book, so it doesn't matter if you lost or it doesn't matter if you won. It just makes it slightly harder next time, and there's no kind of major kind of thing for losing, but because you're telling that story, and I'm enjoying telling the story of Arno, of the first scenario, because Angmar isn't a thing yet, so they don't have the +1 to wound against Angmar, because the Angmar's not a thing yet, so it becomes slightly more hard.
We don't hate those guys.
Who are these guys?
Hey, Angmar, my friend.
So it's, I don't know. I think when they've really considered, they've clearly considered how balanced they are, because it came down to the last turn in both, and they went slightly different ways. I think the game, for me, is because of the way the lists are written as well. I think it lends itself better to good versus evil, in terms of like having a fun narrative, like, thematic game. It works well better good versus evil because some of the evil rules are a bit like, some of the good armies are like, well, that's rubbish because this good army's got really high courage, so it doesn't matter about this rule or whatever. So I think the way the lists have been written for this edition, and I think this is why competitive players don't like it, is because there are more trying to be more narrative driven, or they work better in narrative play, but they're trying to balance it for competitive play, where stuff like 40k is balanced for competitive play, where I think it's slightly different with Middle Earth in that way. But I think that's why I like the narrative slightly more, because the lists work a little bit better in the narrative play.
I know narrative play is my number 4, but I want to caveat that by saying I really want it to be higher.
Yeah.
It's a pain to organise.
Yes,
compared to just saying 600 points.
You go, exactly.
And then that's it, and you just bring whatever. It's harder to say, like, look, especially with Middle Earth, like you say, where you need 12 orcs with 2-handers, 12 orcs with spear, 12 orcs with shield. Like, you need the specific models. But when I think about like moments in games that are like I still think about, it's like the first time I played the Am and Hen scenario with all the Fellowship on the board. Aragorn got tanked. He ran straight into a horde of Uruk-hai, dead. Immediately. And I'm thinking like, that is the last time I will ever do that. But then, other times I've played it, Aragorn is like the last person left on the board. Him and Frodo are just desperately trying to get to the boat.
And
it's like a lot.
It gets really tense and kind of.
It's so tense. I'm literally like pulling my hair out, level of frightened about the Fellowship. But yeah, I think because you have like very specific goals. I think less so for the evil side in a lot of the movie based ones, where the evil side is just
kill that person,
kill them. Yeah. But like, it doesn't feel at the start of the games. It doesn't feel like very sort of engaging for the evil players. I think. It's just run forward, do as much damage as you can. But then once like the good players getting close to their goal, it's so like the last few turns of every narrative scenario I've played has been like
but this is
incredibly
this is where I was getting at with the ones we've played. The last few turns really come down to the wire, and it's really I really enjoy that part of it. I really enjoy that.
This thing, like if you're going to lean into we're telling this one specific story, you've got to use these specific models. I think you really, really need to lean heavily into that and make sure that everyone has a specific laundry list of objectives. So take Am on Hen, for evil, it's not just run in, kill everyone.
It
should be
get the hobbits,
run in, get the hobbits, get the hobbits off the board, and then go here, and then do this, and then do that, and then do the other.
Isn't it like you have to get at least one of the hobbits off the board, or is it both?
You have to get, if you get 2 of the hobbits off the board, it's a draw. Just like in the film. I could talk about. We could do an episode on the ambush at Am and Hen. Sorry, how much I love the ambush.
I do love it, to be fair. I've played it once.
Or do the other version where you do just the Aragorn's stand. And then you do Boromir's whatever. Boromir's redemption. They're so good. So you if you get 2 off the board, it's a draw. Just like in the films. And if you get 3, it's a victory for the evil side. But if Frodo is ever taken off the board,
it's all about a win, isn't it?
Game over. Like the good guys lose automatically. And it's so good. You end up like,
because the evil player then has to pick priority of what they're going to take, and then they're going to try and get through your Aragorn, your Boromir to get at the hobbits, because Sam's just by himself somewhere, isn't he? He's got off running after Frodo.
You can put Sam wherever you want on the board, so you can have him as a roadblock. You can have Sam just essentially move within 6 inches of Frodo, like turn 2, basically, and go, right, we're going to heroic move for the rest of the game. Twice. Because it's Sam. But like, it's a really fun scenario. It's a really good one for like, well, actually, it's a really terrible one for introductions. But like, if someone has done only competitive play, and then you're like, look, do you want to try a narrative scenario?
It's a really good one.
Usually they've had like 2 or 3 heroes per army, and then you go, look, here you go, here's 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come at you with 24 Urukai that
Who are respawning.
will appear.
Yeah.
They're not stopping, man. You've got to get them off the board. And it presents a very different challenge. There was one like on the flip side, I remember when the Hobbit book came out, there was one of the scenarios was like essentially the same setup where you have, it's when the Thorns Company are the Thorns Company just Thorns Company are ambushed by the goblins.
Yeah.
And then essentially try and get like half of the dwarves off one of the board edges, and the goblins are coming in by these like fissures, which are like I think 4-inch gaps on the board edge. But the problem in the scenario was that at the end of every turn, any goblins that were killed come on at any board edge.
Yeah.
And the rule for the dwarves was that they had to get off a board edge. So if you moved as the dwarves towards one board edge and you kill like 20 goblins
They're all
that
coming
were
up on
behind
that
you,
board edge.
all 20 are just
Yeah.
going to spawn straight in front of you.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to like
So that-
I can see why that little oversight completely ruins that scenario.
narrative.
I think
Yeah.
that is one of the ones that was designed with a specific board in mind, because that scenario
Yes.
existed years ago
Yeah.
when it was the Hobbit strategy battle game, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And it was that really cool Goblin Town board
Yes.
where it's all the bridges and the planks.
Yeah.
So
You can
the
only go
routes
on
are very
from certain-
tight, so you can't swarm them with goblins because you
Yeah.
can only get 2 goblins on either side of them.
This
Yeah.
one, I remember looking at it and thinking, oh, this would be great to play. And then I played it when I was like 15 and I got battered every time. You're supposed to have like rocks. It's not quite Goblin Town yet. It's essentially meant to be like where they're all asleep.
Yeah.
They wake up.
Yes.
And then they
Oh, right.
obviously,
right.
we can't have the board collapse and them go down the tunnel. So it's
Yeah,
them
yeah.
being collared.
I thought it was because there was a scenario where it was when they're running away from the
Yeah.
Goblin King,
Oh,
specifically, and that's when they're on the planks.
But I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah. But yeah, it's that. I don't think you know how good a narrative scenario is until
Till
you
you
play
played it.
No.
Yeah.
But most of the ones that I've played have been like
Yeah.
so fun. I'm actually tomorrow night. I'm playing the Black Gate, the 2 hills from the Black Gate, but we're going to play them at the same time. So it's the book version, which is where like Imrahil and Eomer on one hill, and
Yeah.
then Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli,
Okay.
Gandalf, Pippin, and Merry. Bit overloaded on that hill.
That hill's a good hill.
Bye, Imrahil.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Yeah, man.
No horse. Ooh. But they've got to like survive for so many turns.
Yeah.
And there's always just more and more people coming on. And I'm looking forward to that because it's a different kind of game. I want to like narrative more than I do,
Yeah.
but the
I think
opportunity doesn't come up very
like a
often.
narrative more than you do is only by playing the narrative.
Yeah.
You have to play them to understand how good they can be. I do understand that.
And that is the problem because they're so restrictive. Like
yeah,
that.
well,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
where I was going to go. Yeah.
They're the only narrative scenarios that I could play
Yeah.
are the ones that require Thorin's company.
Yeah.
I don't have the models for any other narrative
Yeah.
scenario.
Well, this is why the 3 of us are doing the Angmar one,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
between the 3 of us, we've got all the models
Yeah.
covered, or we've got enough to kind of then proxy in a couple of wild men for Condom, for example.
Yeah.
Like we've got enough between the 3 of us where we can do most of the scenarios. We've maybe got a couple of spectres to paint or a couple of things over here to paint, but for the most part, like, we've got all the models between the 3 of us, and that's why we did that.
I think what would make them more accessible and more fun would be if they sold budget box sets that covered them.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
you know, a narrative scenario from, I mean, there might actually be one from War of the Rohirrim that uses the current starter set.
Yeah.
Exactly the
Yeah.
current starter set. That would be an easy way to get a narrative scenario to be fun and easily accessible, because it's like, okay, I know exactly what to buy the starter set, and then me and a pal build and paint these up, and then we do the narrative scenario.
Well, that's what they did with the starter set. If they come with a pamphlet which had how to build them, how to paint them, whatever. But then it had 4 or 5 scenarios with the models you've got in the set to learn to play the game. So they kind of do that in the starter set for you to learn how to play. But obviously, having the stories from the movies, for example.
Yeah, and I think it would be beneficial if they sold sets that match some of the narrative scenarios that already exist.
Like, for example, in the actual War of the Rohirrim, I can't remember what they're called, journals now. Journal. The third scenario in is Hera with the Watcher and a Mumuk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I don't have a Mumuk, so I can't do that one.
See, those are the ones I like, though, because those
Yeah.
are the ones that are completely nuts. They completely turn the game on its head.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
but
It's like
I
that-
just
those are the good ones.
yeah, but I just don't have the models. Well, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And like the next, like there's the Siege of Edoras, which is like, I think they've got Easterlands in there. There's Easterlands, Wild Men, Rohan, and obviously the heroes and
It's
things.
Harad, isn't it?
Oh, it's Harad, sorry, yeah.
'cause I've got the maps.
I believe they're in. Don't quote us. I believe they're in there. I mean, I don't have them on, so I'd have to
quote
proxy
me.
them.
This is all being recorded.
Well, in the movie, there's no Harad infantry. It's just Wild Men infantry and Mumak.
And
So
then
it's probably
yeah.
got like 1 or 2 Mumaks in it.
Yeah.
In that scenario would be how I would imagine.
So I mean, there's, and like, I was going through. I was looking at narrative games to play, and I was looking through the Fellowship, the Two Towers, the Return of the King. I was having a couple people over, and I thought, well, because it's a one-off game, we'll either play a scenario, or we'll just try a match play thing, or But I thought if I do a scenario, all three of us can do it. We can just kind of pick sides, and one can help the other, or whatever. But I was looking through, and I was like, well, I can't do that one.
Yeah.
I can't do that one. I can't do that one either. That one requires 75 Uruks. I can't do that one either. So it's
I think the one that everyone, I'm probably not everyone, but like everyone has the models for Balanced Tomb.
Yes.
Like everyone has enough goblins. Everyone has a Fellowship.
Yeah.
But no one has a Balanced Tomb board.
Yeah.
You can't
Use
do
it
it
2x2 with a thing in the middle, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I think the best ones are the Hero Hammer ones because they're low model count. You can do really wacky rules with them.
Yeah.
And so Hera plus Mumak plus Watcher would be a perfect one in my mind because it also encourages you to engage with another part of the hobby.
Yes.
Because if you want to do it properly, you're going to want to make the Rabid Wild Mumak.
Well, that's what's in the
And
pamphlet
it
as
gives
well.
you, I know it gives
journal.
you the instructions in it.
Yeah.
And you want to have, Watcher in the swamp with his,
With his
quiff.
With his leafy quiff. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
And then
absolutely.
because you only need like a handful of things. It's a cool project.
Yeah.
And then you do the project and then you play the scenario
Yeah.
when you've done the project. Rather than being like, oh, I'm going to go scrape together 55 orcs
Yeah.
that I'm
Well,
never going to use
the one we
again.
were really concerned about in the Angmar one was like, oh, you need 36 Khandoom warriors, and we're like, okay, I am not rich, I am not doing that.
Yeah.
So fortunately, Graham's already painted up a bunch of 3D proxy ones, and we're just going to throw in wild men for the rest because essentially they're wild men of Rudour, so or wherever the Khandoom, wherever they're from, and they're all just wild men of Arno. So it makes sense. It just works.
Yeah.
Some of them have shields. They're not very good ones in the hill tribes, but you can just pretend they're proper shields, can't you?
It's fine.
So yeah,
They're
I
all
mean,
the same
so narrative
social
play is
status.
quite high up on mine because I am really enjoying playing narrative right now.
Yeah.
I just think if you want to try it.
And you can write your own narrative scenarios.
Yes,
as
you
well.
can. Yeah,
It's quite fun. I used to do it loads when I was younger. They're probably all terrible. Like, I don't think I'd play any of them. I'd look at them and think, ooh, there was one that had like 3 cave trolls and the other was like, the other side had like 12 rangers.
Yeah.
Nice.
But
I wrote a narrative siege
not going to
game.
win that one.
A narrative
cool.
siege game I did at home a couple of months ago, and it was the children of Helm are standing at the gate because they've heard some noises outside. Moria have decided they're going to invade because it's night time. As they do.
Yeah.
And so goblins have come down. They've heard there's treasure inside Edoras, and they've come down. So the 3 children start the gate. There's a stable at the back of the board. So if they want to get on the horse, they can run off to the stable.
Yeah.
But it's a siege game, so the goblins can climb the walls, because goblins can, as long as there's space to get up. And then you've got bats and things, and you had the cave drake. But then turn 10, Helm comes on with some infantry, with some cavalry, and they just can come on.
Yeah.
So you've got to try and get through and over the walls and try and do as much damage as you can before Helm comes on and wrecks you.
That is something I think more people should engage with is writing around scenarios.
Yeah.
If nothing else, just to then issue an apology to Games Workshop when you realise how hard it actually is.
There's a lot of things you've got to balance.
The amount of times people say, like, it's so simple, just do this. And I'm sat there like, nah.
It's really not. It took me ages.
If you just did that, you'd break it in 17 other ways.
Yeah.
I've been trying to write, and we can move on from narrative scenarios soon. Sorry.
Well, I think the only one left really is the hobby and the competitive.
We need to do
We'll do competitive next. I think,
I've been trying to write a siege scenario
Yeah.
where you play the main siege board
Yeah.
and then you have a sort of defender objective
Yeah.
that's played on a 2x2 or a 2x4 board.
Yeah.
And then you have an attacker objective that's played on another board. And then those things, how those smaller skirmishes sort of turn out.
Yeah.
Obviously they're smaller, so they'll probably end quicker as well.
Yeah.
They have impacts on the bigger board. So like one of them might be like, you've got a messenger who has to get from the defenders have a messenger who has to get from one side of the board to the other, and then once he does, you get like cavalry join the main board or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's not just you waiting until like the it's like you wait until turn 10.
Yes.
It's like Helm's going to turn up at turn 10. You know that.
Yeah.
And you can sort of bank on that. But then it's like adding that extra level of like,
could it happen?
If they really mess that up, if that messenger doesn't arrive, that's it.
Yeah,
if it doesn't arrive,
yeah.
you're screwed.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to balance.
Do a similar thing in the Return of the King one, where they've got the Blackgate one, and then at the same time you're playing Frodo, which is really cool.
That for like a siege game, that'd be a great way of doing like a 3v3 game.
Yeah,
where you have like two people peel off at the start to do the little skirmish bit.
Yeah.
And especially if they're like a little bit away from you, so you don't know what's going on in their game, they don't know what's going on in yours.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Because we've got Northern Alliance Games, which has 2 floors.
It does.
So you can have like, look, you two play the defenders here, and then if it's 4 people versus 4 people, and then send the others upstairs.
Yeah. And then the messenger gets on the board, and one person has to run with a message, a physical message, run upstairs, and with all the cavalry, the message, and go, here you go.
Yeah,
that'd be quite
cool. Give them a horn that they can blow from downstairs. So you know
yes, this needs to happen.
That would be great.
We need a narrative saying that needs to happen.
We can arrange that.
We can do that.
We can do that.
That'd be fun.
Okay.
Right. Cool. Excellent.
So, actually, Nick, where would you rank narrative play? 1 to 5?
I guess by default it's ended up as number 3 for me because I combined converting and painting.
Yeah.
So I've got 5, skipped 4, 3, and then
yeah, mine's on 2. My narrative play.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Which one should we do next?
We've touched on competitive play already, so we'll do that next. Then we'll do the painting side last, I think. So
yeah.
I've put competitive play. As I said, it was between 2 and 3. I've gone for 3. But it's to be fair, it depends how I'm feeling, but it's around there somewhere. So which by default you can probably guess what my number 1 is.
Yeah.
But competitive play, match play scenarios. My main gripe with match play scenarios is you turn up for a tournament. You've got this. You've really thought your list through. You're using something fun. You're using something that you've practiced with, and then you come up with a scenario that's like, well, I've automatically lost this one.
Yeah.
How competitive is that when I just can't win that based on what I've got?
As a hero hammer enjoyer.
Yeah. And so this is the thing. It's like with me. It's like I like competitive play.
Yes.
With fluffier scenarios, and there are like Middle Earth is better at this than a lot of other war games are.
Yeah.
There are a lot of war games where every scenario is some variation on area control.
Yeah.
But some of the attempts at fluff in Middle Earth don't make a lick of sense. My favourite being Escort the Wounded.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that they're sort of further forward to the board. These are people that have been injured during the battle, and now I've arrived to come and grab them and take them home by driving them straight into the middle of enemy territory.
Yeah.
Why am I doing that? Why am I going forwards? Why am I taking them back towards the danger?
Yeah.
I don't... Yeah. Like, mechanically, that scenario is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. It's like, as far as competition is concerned, a balance, fine. It's all right.
Yeah.
It can be fun, and it can be balanced, and it can be fair, and it can be absolutely fine to have it in a tournament. But why is the theming the wounded?
Yeah.
If you told me that this is like a scenario, like that goes back to the, competitive scenarios themed in a narrative. If this was themed on the Siege of Helm's Deep, and what I was actually picking up was a bomb, then I'd get it.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm just picking up some half-dead guy and being like, hang on, I was going to take you towards these Urukai for a second.
Yep.
No, 3 evenly spaced half-dead guys. Sorry. Yeah. It does make a lot of sense, that one. But I mean,
I do like that there is an attempt to theme it.
Because
I like there's an attempt.
40K is just like, hold here.
Yeah.
Why?
I just think a bit more thought should have been put into some of them, because like I said, there's several that are mechanically absolutely fine, but just
change the narrative behind it.
Just change the narrative. Like Clash by Moonlight's another one where it's like, oh, we're gonna have Dark of the Night because it's Clash by Moonlight. I thought, well, it's not Clash by Moonlight then, is it? It's Clash by Dark of the Night. Either there's moonlight or there ain't.
This is true.
Yeah.
If you want to do it that way, maybe rather than using the Dark of the Night rules, give everyone stalk unseen as long as they're obscured by terrain.
Yeah.
Because then they're not in the moonlight. But like, if it's a Clash by Moonlight, the board should maybe be illuminated. Otherwise, yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah. I think I think about competitive play. Holistically, I'm not fussed about the scenarios.
Yeah.
It's like the tournaments are for competitive play.
Yeah.
When you're meeting up on like Thursday, it's for competitive play.
Yeah.
Like, it's so much easier to like socialize and access the community.
Yeah.
Through competitive play.
This is where it would switch to number 2 for me.
Yes.
The social side of competitive play is just the best thing about it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think like with the list that I play, I think maybe a third of the time the scenario is rolled and I think this is 50-50. A third of the time I think not a chance. A third of the time I think I've got this in the bag.
Yeah.
I think. So I enjoy the sort of competitive side of it, but it is just more fun. I know we were talking before about how Phil was saying about do you approach casual Thursdays different to how you approach a competitive like event?
Yeah.
And like I don't think I do really. No. I'm trying. Yeah, everyone
Depends
that's beating me on a Thursday night, that was me really trying.
It depends on your opponent. I think what it comes down to in that respect for me is because on a Thursday night I've arranged a game with someone. I usually know what they're bringing, and I'm just maybe practicing an army or bringing something fun to practice with. I'll still want to win. I'll still want to do all the scenarios. I'll still want to score as high as I can. I'll still try and deny them points. Like, I'll still play competitively, but it'll be a lot more of like, ooh, I wasn't meant to do that. Yeah. Do you mind if I just? And it'll be oh yeah, that's fine. And then you do it to each other. Yeah. Like it's competitive without having to like win at all costs. Kind of.
I can have more competitive games. I feel with people that I know.
Yes.
And that I play all the time. Yeah. Like I'll be a real pain sometimes on a Thursday night, especially someone in particular with their Thorns company. There's no way I'm going easy on that.
You've got a reputation of being a really chill guy in the community, and I think I'm one of the very small number of people that have seen how untrue that can actually be.
The facade has cracked. I'm glad I've got a reputation for being chill. That's good.
You do actually, yes. You're
Great.
quite chill.
Great.
Competitive play is it's what the majority of this game is made up of, in terms of the GBHL and the NEHL, the Northeast one. We're playing. Most of the time, we're rolling for a match play scenario. Yeah. We're practicing an army, or we're playing something we haven't used before, and we're trying to win a game. It's competitive play. For me, that's how that works. Whether it's competitive play as a friendly on a Thursday night, or competitive play in a tournament trying to go for a podium, I think both can be competitive, but you can look at them different ways. As in, like, you're practicing the army as like me and Jake played each other last week. He had his Goblin Town. He hadn't played for a long time, or he hadn't played, and I had my Birders Hold, which I'd only practiced with like once or twice. So we're practicing for teams, and we're basically going through the army rules, like, oh, I forgot about that thing, and I forgot Birder could do that, and that sort of thing. But we're helping each other out. So, I forgot that thing last turn. Do you mind if I do it this turn? Yeah, fine, absolutely fine. Like, you can do that in sort of practice friendly competitive games. I'm still trying to win. I'm still trying to do all the conditions. I'm not going to help you with tactics, but in terms of remembering army rules and things, you can do that. And I think. Yeah, so I think you can have both. I think
I think that the main difference for me between like casual competitive play and competitive play is the context behind me saying, "Are you sure?"
Oh no!
In casual competitive play, it comes from a place of love. In competitive play, it comes from a place of malice.
The worst one, you don't even say where, you go, That's all you need. I think a very sound tactical decision, and Nick's like, I'm like, what? What have I missed? What has gone wrong?
I think the most rolled I've ever seen was when you said, "I'm going to do this." I said, "Well, you can try."
It's awful. So unnecessary.
It's brilliant. I love competitive play. I do love it. I do love going to tournaments, and I do love trying to do my best and meeting all the different people and how they kind of approach games, and we're all sitting here today because we all played each other at a tournament, and like we're all friends because of it. So it would be silly to say a competitive play sucks, because it doesn't. It doesn't.
If we were on the Prance and Pony, which is the regional group chat for any international listeners, if we said, "Oh, has anyone got 12 orcs with two-handed, 12 orcs with spear, because I want to do the last march of the end scenario.
Yeah.
You're not going to meet as many people, are you? Like,
No.
it's something that you like. I think competitive play lays the like you're saying, it lays the foundation for a lot of the other more niche parts of the hobby.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like, we're on episode 9, and this is the longest we've talked about narrative play.
Yeah.
The rest has mostly been
Yeah.
sort of competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Do you like competitive play? I
It's
think
a very important part.
It was 3 for me, but it easily could have been number 2,
And
quite easily.
For Nick, it was
2.
Number 2.
okay.
So I think we're all
Hey, that's
yeah.
hey.
So then the last one was the but what did Mike put down for it? What was his words were? Painting. So painting dash competitive, but I'm going to say painting as a whole.
Yeah.
Painting, and I've put hobby as well, because it can be stuff like creating things. Not so much conversions, but like base and stuff like that.
I'm only interested in painting dash competitive.
That is Jonathan's niche, yes. So
I always put mine forwards knowing I'm not going to win, but I still want to show them off.
Yeah, sure, yeah, because you've put
I was
time,
like-
effort, and love into these models. You want to show them off. No, like that's essentially why I entered me Moria board and me models at the Gondor one. It's because I've had me Moria board out before,
Yeah.
but me Drake hasn't been on it and all that kind of stuff, and I put gold pieces on and stuff. I'd made it a bit better, and I just want to put it out because I'd put so much time and effort into putting them gold pieces on and like making little jewels, and I just wanted to show it off. And I managed. I mean, won on a tie, but I won that just by wanting to show it off. I didn't think I was going to win, because there's so many good painters that were going, and obviously Martin's board was phenomenal, and it was best army, so it was against everything.
Yeah.
So I was just putting it out because I wanted to show off. Basically, I was quite proud of what I'd done.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I ended up winning. So it's nice just to show off your stuff. You've put time into it.
I think as well, like, there's a difference in terms of like the showing off between paint / competitive and paint in general, in that there are times when I figure out a new painting technique that will never win you a competition.
Yeah.
Because if you want to win a competition, there are specific techniques that you really want to use that objectively look better.
Yeah.
But every now and then you figure out a cheat that'll get you a table-ready army in a very short space of time.
Dry brushing everything with carrot
it's like-
stone.
Yeah.
There it is.
And sometimes like that side of the painting is really fun, where you're like, oh, I figured out a way to get this cool effect
Yeah.
with very little effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one I've done in the past, I've not used it in Middle Earth yet, but something I discovered by accident is a really good way to get like manky green zombie flesh, is to just use a yellow wash straight on the bare grey plastic. Don't even prime it.
Oh, really?
Oh my god!
And I discovered-
it.
Yeah. I
Oh,
discovered
Jonathan's twitching again.
and what makes it even better is if you've trimmed off some bits of flash, we'll have all noticed before where you trim off the flash, it's white.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that bit comes out yellow, so it looks like sauce and boils and stuff.
That is, I would never ever have thought of that.
That came about when I was quite a bit younger through a misunderstanding of a Warhammer community post where I saw a picture of a Beastman Gorgon that someone had painted using only washes.
Wow.
What they meant was only washes over a primed
paint.
model.
Yes. Yeah.
I just saw only washes. So I was like, I'm going to try that with an ogre.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to try that with an ogre that I might convert into a fire belly. So I'm going to try and make him look like he's got like charred skin. So I was like, so I'll start with a yellow and then I'll build up to black, because it's obviously going to get darker as I go.
Yeah.
And then it'll be yellow and orange in the recesses.
Yeah.
So I put the yellow on and it dried green. I was like, guess he's a zombie ogre now. And I painted a unit of zombie ogres that way. And it meant that it was really quick because I didn't even need to prime them.
Nice. That's
I think there are two parts there. There's you were talking about the social side of painting.
Yeah.
And painting is also a very solitary thing. Like I probably do spend hours every day. Not every day, but whenever I'm free, essentially, just painting. Like it's how I chill.
This is why it's top of my list. So the painting and collecting side of things is where I started with Middle Earth. I didn't play. I just collect the models because they look cool. I painted them because I found it therapeutic, essentially, good for your mental health, and then had a really cool Balrog and thought I best play the game, see what it's like, and that's how I ended the game. So, but I think I'd always fall back to painting because it got us through lockdown. I came back into the hobby through lockdown because I have 3 kids and I was going crazy. So I needed time to myself where I was focusing on something different for a couple of hours or like an hour a day, while the bin was having a nap or like whatever. And so I got the Pelennor box set, and I thought, right, I'm going to paint some ghosts. And it was really easy because I just have to prime them and then just like 2 colours and they were done. But just by starting there, it was really good for my mental health, and it really kept us sane kind of during like the long hours through different lockdowns. And since then, it's been my go-to kind of safe space and kind of, right, I need some thinking time where you just go away, have a think about what's happened through the day, what's going to happen tomorrow, what like all the different things I've got coming up on the weekend. It's good. I can do that by sitting and just painting a model, but I'm like kind of processing my thoughts at the same time, if that makes sense. So my desk in my room now, since we moved, and it's where I go now to kind of decompress at the end of the day. Even if it's just half an hour, if I've only got half an hour at the end of the night or whatever, I'll just sit down, stick my light on, paint part of a model, and then go to bed. It'll just help us kind of unwind and kind of de-stress. It's really big kind of part of my life now. So
I get that. I do have sometimes my painting has the opposite effect of de-stressing. If it's before a tournament, I'll be
frantically
1 a.m. I'm like, oh, I really want to win this event, and then I'll start realizing that I'm not going to paint it in time, and I'm like, I can win an event on 3 hours sleep or whatever. It's fine. Or like, I get very excited about my painting. And if hopefully I've been thinking I'm not quite getting that shade right for the last 15 minutes since I started at 6:30, but now it's 6:45 and I've cracked it. I've figured out what I want to do. But realistically what happens is I get to about 11:30 and I'm like, eureka! I've figured it out. I've got the perfect mix now. I better paint for another 2 hours. It's like, but it's still like, it's fun to I've got a little book where I write everything down.
I should probably do that, because I always come up, I'm always like, I'm going to do a bit of that, and I'm going to do a bit of that, and I'm going to do a bit of that. I'll come back to the first one and go, oh no, I don't know how I did that. I'm going to have to make that up and try and find
It's one of the reasons I don't tend to mix my paints much, but I have an extensive collection of different shades, so I don't really need to. It's the more expensive way of doing it, but it's because I don't write anything down. Although sometimes, because it helps that I do Hero Hammer, so I don't necessarily need to remember a recipe, because 90% of the time I'm coming to a different model. And then in the past, where I've done big armies for Middle Earth, the paint schemes have been simple enough because I can't paint 25 models to a high standard. I'm too lazy. So I do simple enough paint schemes that I can look at it and infer what I did. But then when I've done higher quality paint schemes on bigger things in the past in previous games, I've like contrived a reason why every model might look a little bit different. For example, my ogres were a mercenary army, so that was a double project. That was it. They're all painted different and they're all converted. So that meant that I could have every single one different. And it meant I didn't have to remember a recipe.
This is part of the reason why I've done like Lothlorien, is that if the green looks a little bit more yellow, it's okay on that one. But it's like, because I do mix a lot of paint. Like most of my colours are usually maybe 3 shades of a colour, and then either a bit of black or a bit of white mixed in at the top and bottom, or the bottom and top. But it just means that like after every session where I've discovered something new, I'm like, write that down right now, because as soon as I put them away, like if I've got like 8 blue paints, and I've used 3 of them on this particular model, if I put them back in the drawer,
which 3 did I use?
Gone. I will never ever remember it, because I don't read the bottles when I pull them out. I only read it when I'm getting it to put in the book.
I made this mistake. I've got some models of Peter's that I'm painting up. He's Rohan Heroes, and I did it with Leaf. I painted a leaf on the horse. Had a colour scheme we talked about, and I painted up the horse, and I painted a leaf, and I was like, yes, this looks great. I really like that Oh no, the foot model. Oh no, how did I do how did I do that again? And it was like instant panic, like I'm not going to be able to match the colours. And if you look at the covers are slightly different on the cloaks.
Just anywhere that it doesn't quite look right.
Leave the podcast now.
Anywhere that it doesn't look right, just smear a bit of brown on it. Be like, I fell off a sauce.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's a bit of mud, yeah. But
what you can say is it's actually later in the day.
Yes.
From when he fell off his horse.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the foot model is slightly brighter.
So if you look side by side, it was slightly different because I totally forgot to write it down.
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing them at the same time. I haven't done the same problem. I haven't got the same one with Alwyn. I've done them both at the same time.
Yeah. So someone at a tournament was like, "Oh, I like the way I had my fellowship," and they were like, "Oh, I like the way you've done your Legolas skin tone." And I was like, "It's the same." I've tried to do it the same.
As all the other skin tones.
That one hasn't worked out. Well, it is lighter.
Yes.
So it suits them. But they're like, oh, okay. So I was like, so I'm going to give you the blanket.
This is how
I can give the blanket recipe on how I did all of their skin, and just maybe highlighted Legolas.
Yeah.
Vague instruction.
I find skin really quite challenging, especially in Middle Earth, because I feel like my method to skin previously in other games doesn't really work on Middle Earth because the models are too small. I use lots of broad strokes, heavy washes sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I find a lot that what I end up doing is doing some sort of like base coat of some bright colour and then just going over with a very, very thin Kislev flesh and calling it a day. Because when I tried to do skin properly with my metal Elrond, who is an ugly model anyway.
Yeah, the metal one's not
and
great.
I love him dearly.
Botox.
Oh yeah. This is metal pajama Elrond, I should clarify.
Yes.
Which is even uglier than the already ugly metal armoured Elrond.
Yes.
And part of the problem was that I don't have like a proper light setup. I have a table lamp that can go to white. But it's a rectangle, it's not very big. So it doesn't necessarily cover the model quite as smoothly as it should.
Yeah.
So when I was painting him, I think some of the yellow from my ceiling light was bleeding through.
Oh.
And when I painted it, I was pretty happy with how it turned out. And he looked all right in the photo. And then I took him to a tournament in Borough where they have very even white lighting.
Yeah.
And I put him on the table and went, oh no, it's Michael Jackson. he was
very
white. It did not look like a natural skin tone at all. I was like, oh dear. So then I had to go touch him up with darker colours when I got home because it did not look right at all.
Yeah, the Wildmen I've done the skin tones on. I did the, as I say, contrast wash blower, but I left the skin just the wraithbone, and I just used Gilliman flesh, and that was it, because the way it dried is kind of dirty, and I was like, that really works. Like I don't have to highlight them or anything because it looks like dirty skin. Perfect. Wildmen. There you go. It's not even smooth. It's just blotchy, but it works for them.
I did figure out a trick. Again, this only really works on big models, so this would work on like a cave troll or something like that. But I used this on some Gene Stealers, and I used it on some orcs in the past, like Warhammer orcs. And that was paint the skin a darker version of whatever colour you want, like a decent chunk darker.
Yeah.
Do some very blocky, harsh highlights with pallid witch flesh.
Yeah.
And then just go over with a wash of whatever colour you want it to actually be.
Ah, nice.
And that will blend it all together because it'll still... So like I was with the orcs, it was green. So I went over I started like Catachan green, which is like a very dark military green.
Yeah.
Pallid witch flesh on like the tops of the muscles, the nose, the chin, the pecs, that sort of thing. And then Beal tan green wash over the top of it. And they came out looking kind of pale, but then it like drops off into the shadows.
Yeah.
That's a nice cheesy way of doing a decent skin tone.
Yeah, nice.
But it only really works with like fantasy skin colours.
Yeah.
Like works with
strong
green, and
colours.
it works with like I think I did it with a troll for a Mordor catapult. It's a 3D printed troll that I've got for a Mordor catapult, who I painted like a magenta-y, reddy sort of colour. I did it with him, and it worked with him.
Yeah. I imagine it would work quite well with a purple and a Juchi violet, or whatever it is.
Yeah, that sort of thing works. But I don't think it would work with like a natural...
You could do it with orcs, yeah.
I don't think it would work well with a natural skin colour.
No.
At all. But yeah, you could do it with like orcs or trolls or...
Yeah.
I think the way I do like skin, like faces especially, is I just focus on wherever the brightest parts are. Like, it's the forehead, the nose, the cheeks, and then everything else is probably the base wash. Not the base wash, the base colour. and then maybe highlight up to a mid-tone.
Yeah.
But it looks natural immediately.
Yeah.
I find, and it helps like sort of build. If I'm going for like if it's my Aragorn or something, then as soon as I've got that sort of like foundation of like those are the bright bits,
Yeah.
and that's what I need to focus on.
Yeah.
It's easier to map out where I'm going to put like stubble or eyebrows or stuff like that.
Yeah.
But get a magnifying glass if you're going to do that, because you'll hurt your eyes.
Painting.
So,
Top of my list, because I just
my
love it.
list. Nick,
I had a joint number one with conversions because
Yes.
they one and the same to me.
Yeah. Look at that.
That-
We've got a winner, guys.
well.
We've got a winner.
I can tell you, it's. Would you like me to read out the results?
Go on, yes. Read out the results.
So, in last place, any guesses?
I don't know. Conversions?
It's display.
Oh, that's right, of course it was, yes. Yeah.
Yep. And then in joint third place is conversions and narrative play.
Nice.
Interesting. And then competitive play. So last place had 14.
Yeah.
That's where we ranked it. And then 9 was where the other two were. Competitive play had 7.
Nice.
And then painting had 3/4.
Nice. Yeah, there you
So
go.
yeah.
That's how we rank them.
We like painting.
Yeah.
Or we're just bad at competitive play.
Well, a bit of both, I'd probably
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I think it's now
It's quiz
time.
It is.
Oh, and it's Nick's quiz this time.
Oh,
So-
no.
So I've had pity on you this month,
Oh, thanks.
How
and I've made it a little bit
easy.
easy. Well, to be fair, the last couple I thought they would be challenging, but then you did fairly well both times.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm going to get this one wrong as well. But I
Just
think
bit-
this one's not too challenging.
As long as it's fun. That's
long as
what
it's
it's all
fun.
about.
I'm a
And
squad.
we don't
So-
get through the answers in 2.4 seconds like you did last time.
Oh, God.
A couple of them
I'll
you might,
stalk
but we'll see.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So-
Yeah, which one's which, though?
Visual gag there for everyone on this podcast medium. I wrote J&J at the top of the quiz answers.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Nice.
So I'm gonna pinch the format that we've done previously, where it's going to be 2 points if you get it right,
yeah,
and then if you get it wrong, your opponent has the opportunity to steal
For 1 point.
for 1 point.
Nice.
brilliant.
I've tried to do these questions sort of like in mostly kind of matching pairs,
Yeah.
so it doesn't really matter who goes first.
Okay.
But you can decide amongst yourselves how you want to decide who goes first.
You go
I
first.
didn't bring it
Before
okay.
I tell you what the theme is.
That was
There you
easy.
go. Jonathan, go
Yep,
first.
I'll go first.
So
Ooh.
I'm going to be quizzing you on special rules.
Oh, dear.
Oh, this is hilarious considering we got an email about how wrong we got a magical power.
Okay.
Great.
Right.
So where's it going to work? I'll describe a rule to you,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and then you've just got to tell me which rule it is.
Okay.
So
And these are special rules just from the rule book or from like on someone's profile as well?
both.
Both. Okay.
Great.
I can tell you it is mostly from the rulebook,
Okay.
Okay.
but there are some.
There's some curveballs.
Basically, at some point during the quiz, you'll get asked about each of the armies of books,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That's fine.
but it's mostly the rulebook.
Okay.
I can do that.
Ah, it is so bad here.
So sorry, who's going first?
Jonathan's going first.
Me.
Jonathan's
I'm
going first.
first.
Okay.
Right.
So, I should mention this is in the form of a haiku.
Oh.
Slipped my mind there for a second.
Are they all in the form of haikus?
Every single one.
I didn't expect that to be the case.
What? This is why Nick hasn't been able to practice any other army for the team event.
Oh, goodness me. Right, okay.
So,
How many questions are there?
10 in total.
Okay, fair
I wrote
enough.
them.
You've been busy.
I wrote them all in a day. I had 2 of these I thought of like weeks ago, and then I forgot to write any of them down. And then it got to like a couple of days ago. I was like, oh no.
You taught a revised special.
Brilliant.
The rule book, not
is
haikus. Poetry. Right, okay. Let's go.
Number 1. Terrifying world. Monsters, magic, and spirits. Yet steadfast I stand.
What? No, is it fearless?
Correct.
Yes. Exceptional.
Goodness me.
Exceptional work.
Wow.
God, he always
Some of them are better than others.
He always have our quizzes out of the water.
He does.
doesn't
It's going to be really boring. Next time, I'm going to have to do it. The next time, I'm going to have to do it. Anyway, yes.
Question 2.
Yes, and 2.
Bigger and stronger. 2 for you is 1 for me. No minus to swing.
It's Burley.
Correct.
Yes.
Brilliant.
See, I told you it was easy.
This is so fun. This is so fun.
I'm along for the ride. I'm not bothered about the
Exactly.
plan.
This is where I'm at.
Next question. Alas, alack. That hurt more than expected. I'll be on my way.
Oh.
Oh,
I think I've got it.
is it Mighty Blow?
No.
Oh no!
What's it
1
called?
point for the steal.
What's it called? It's the one that Shelob has. It's the one that Shelob has. It's
What's it called?
And the Dragons. They also have it. Oh
No! I know what it is.
What's it called? Why has my mind gone so blank?
Everyone's
I'm too busy.
screaming.
I'm too busy loving the poetry. I think is the issue. Oh my god. Oh man, it's gonna kill us.
We're going to have to do a countdown.
Oh no. It's
Dum 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 dum.
That's not helping. Oh, I'm not gonna get it. Oh. No, I'm not gonna get it.
Do you give up?
Yeah.
Survival instinct.
Yeah.
Oh man. God.
Oh.
Of course I knew that one. I did know it. I just
I
didn't
thought
know
it,
the
I
name of it.
focused too much on that hurt a lot. That
Yeah.
hurt more than expected. I
It was the
like,
running
oh,
away. I was like,
double
Yeah.
wounds.
I
yeah,
know which
running
one it
away,
is.
I
I just
should've.
can't remember the name. Anyway,
Too focused.
I'm
Fantastic
just,
stuff.
Just the poetry.
Next question.
It's sublime.
Nature. What a treat. Absolutely no trouble to walk with my feet.
Oh, woodland creature.
Correct.
Yes.
Damn it. These are great,
This
man.
is really good. This is so good. And we've just leveled up.
You've got to follow this next week.
I'm
Although at this point, any idea is on the table.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're going to get just gradually more tangential as I go. Next question.
Okay.
Oh, that's quite scary. But Ryder knows it's safe. Sorry, but Ryder knows if it's safe. If he's brave, I'm brave.
I don't know what it's called.
is it?
This is quite a specific one, to
Is
be
it-
fair.
Is it fearful?
No.
Oh,
It's similar, but there is a hint in there.
yeah.
It's specific to is it specific to a model? It's is it where the mount takes the courage from its rider? I can't remember what it's called. I'm not going to get it. I'm just going to guess horse load.
Timid.
That's
The pony rule.
yeah.
Because you're right, they can take it from the rider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Next question.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky, rocky road. No problem jumping that gap if you live up here.
Is that Mountain Dweller by any chance?
That is Mountain
That's perfect.
Okay. We're getting to the slightly trickier ones now.
Right, okay.
We're also quite close to the end.
Okay.
Do nothing by halves, or dare I say, by quarters. Don't end, one more go.
Oh,
You've had really tricky ones.
this is I don't know the name of this special rule, but it's giving Easterling. I think this is the Easterling army bonus.
But what's it called?
Is it just like give them no quarter or something like that?
I'll give you that. It's no quarter was asked.
Oh, yeah.
That's close enough.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
close enough.
absolutely.
Because you've had some nasty
I
ones.
appreciate
That's
that.
good
Yeah.
enough for me.
Well done, because I would have got nowhere near that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Next question. You got any forks? Yeah, I think I got spoons too. Good. Better than clubs.
What?
This one's really quite niche.
I don't know. Is it full bellies?
It's not full bellies.
No.
Can we have a repeat?
You can. You got any forks? Yeah, I think I got spoons too. Good. Better than clubs.
No. No idea.
Kitchen utensils.
What?
For the 3 trolls.
I knew
That is
I thought
crazy.
3 trolls
So
immediately.
I think it gives them rerolls of a 1 to strike or something like that.
For 50 points?
Yeah, it's something like that.
Terrible.
It's one of those ones that no one takes, yeah.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Points
Well, at least I was
reroll.
along the right lines.
Yeah, that's fair.
Got
yeah.
I'll give myself some kudos for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Quite like this one. He has the shiny. That means I do what he says. More courage near him.
Is this me?
It's you.
Which one's it? Is this me?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's gone. Sorry, I got confused.
So I'll say it again.
Thank you.
He has the shiny. That means I do what he says. More courage near him. Oh.
I think I know this one. A
Oh.
light is just. Is it? Money bags.
No.
Ah.
Is it Master of the Precious?
Yes.
Oh.
The other shiny thing.
The other shiny.
The
thing.
courage,
Just the
the
other
courage
name.
that makes it different.
Yeah.
Gollum's braver when he's near Frodo. Or
I
Smeagol's
did
braver.
not.
rather.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Brilliant.
I know more of these than I thought.
That's 1 point for you. Give you an extra point.
I can give us an extra
Right,
point.
This is
why
one
are you
that
gonna
I.
win this?
This last one, I thought this was going to be a tricky one,
Okay.
but recent discussions have spoiled it.
Oh, really? I probably still won't get it,
Okay.
let's be honest.
Declare an action, but not the one that you want. No striking in here.
Ah.
Prime content here.
This is a dwarf one. But I don't know what it's called. So
Are you
I'm
sure?
I'm gonna pass. I don't
Okay.
know.
Would you like to try and steal it?
Yes, I would. I would like to try. I think it might be Hera's rule.
Okay. What's it called?
That didn't sound good.
What's it called?
I know she's called Bride of Death, and I have no idea what it's. I don't know, Shield Maiden or something like that.
It's the Warrior Bride.
Oh,
But you're right, yeah, so it was being talked about in the Prancing Pony like 2 days ago. I saw this
see.
just, I was like, oh god damn it. That was gonna be my niche one. Or one of my niche ones.
Oh, that was good.
that was fantastic.
That was.
That was it.
I mean,
There we go.
I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, well done, Nick. That is
Poetry class.
smashed out of the park.
Smashed it. Bravo.
And well done, Jamie. That is a
Hey.
7-4 win
Oh, wow.
to Jamie.
Better
I
than
mean,
that.
that's one question and one steal, so it was relatively close.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was brilliant.
Damn it! This arms race of quizzes is crazy. I can't keep up.
I hope you all enjoyed that one because it deserves all the credit in the world.
It's getting difficult
That was brilliant.
to try and top myself now.
Don't do that either.
Don't do that.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Okay.
Right, quiz done. That was brilliant. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. So the next step we always do is the event shout out. So the Peter Bowl, 200 points, no named heroes, the second Thursday of every month at Northern Alliance Games. Hopefully one of the organisers will be there at the next one.
Yeah.
Thursday night throwdown, 350 points every third Thursday at Millsborough Gaming Club. And this weekend we have Ranger Court in Holtsyard, the team's event
Yeah.
that Jonathan and Callum have organised. So that's happening this weekend. It's probably already happened, depending on how long this takes to go out. But that is happening on Saturday. Very excited. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the band now. It's great.
Yeah, me too.
But obviously, you can't buy tickets for that. But if you do want to come down and have see how it goes down, and there's going to be a lot of players there if you wanted to catch up with anyone.
If any tournament was going to end in a brawl, it'll be this one. So you should probably sell spectator tickets.
Yes.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, I should have done that as like a side. Just installed like a stand for people to.
Of a betting ring.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. So the next Gondo in 60 Seconds, the reforging of Andrew Lister, which is very good.
Yeah.
That's on Sunday the 12th of July. It's 650 points. It's being run at Middlesbrough Gaming Club by Luke and Dave. It's £10 for a ticket. I've already discussed it earlier on. If you want to point any hate at Dave for anything that was mentioned in the email, come along to the Gondo in 60 Seconds on July the 12th. And then I've got my charity event, Hope Remains, Sunday the 16th of August. It's 250 points, good for evil. It's 5 games and a charity raffle at the end of the day. There's still like 2 tickets left for that one, so if you do want to come down, it's £20 for a ticket, and then just have a lot of fun. It's going to be quite good. The game nights, so Northern Alliance games we've mentioned a few times now. Thursday tends to be the Middle-earth night. The Middlesbrough Gaming Club have their nights as well. Get-Go Gaming is a nice space to play casual games and stuff. Element Games have a gaming space downstairs as well. That's in Newcastle City Centre, and the Rotten Seagulls is once every other Thursday. That's in Whitburn, Sunderland, if you're closer to there. So check out the social media pages for all these things. Also check out the North East Hobbit League, NEHL, for your information on all of that. So yeah, get involved with us, Talking Shire. We are on Patreon. It is still free at the minute. We still need to kind of get to grips with all of that. But if you do sign up, it'd be good to kind of build a following, and then we can go from there. But our next episode is going to be episode number 10. We've hit double digits, guys.
We made it.
So yeah, we've made it. So we might do something a bit, I might have a special episode where I haven't quite figured it out just yet. It might be a bit of a surprise. But we think we're going to focus it on the North East Hobbit League, seeing as it's something that keeps going up every episode, and there's lots of stats and things, and now the North Eastlands are above the Rangers of the North East, so it's really nice to rub that in.
For now. For now.
Until Saturday.
Until Saturday.
When like half of us get 80 points for coming first, and half of us get, was it 75 coming second, or whatever it is?
Something like that.
Yeah.
72 points? I don't know.
Who knows?
No, it'll be 70. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. We don't do that.
Irrelevant.
We don't do that. That's right.
70 something.
But yes, so we're going to be talking about the NEHL. If you want to talk about any events that have happened this year, if you want to mention any players you've enjoyed playing against, or if you're like your best painted armies you've seen on the tables, or anything at all, get in touch with the podcast at talkingshire@outlook.com, and we shall have fun doing that. In about a month's time. Just a last shout out, big thanks to my brother Ryan, who does record and edit the podcast, and does all the hard work after we've sat here and talked for 2 hours.
Thank you.
So
as someone who contributes nothing other than just turning up, it's appreciated.
So yes, big thanks to Ryan, and that's pretty much it for this episode. It's been a nice long one. Hope you've enjoyed whatever you've been doing, you're painting or you're driving or whatever, and you haven't swerved off the road as I was reading Dave's email out. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.